The following podcast contains strong language and alternative facts. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Heel Podcast. Over the airwaves and under the influence, we are Turning Heel.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Turning Heel podcast, brought to you by me, the Griz. I didn't think that one through. And with me, as always, is Chris motherfucking Hughes.
You never think anything through, you dick?
I mean, you're not wrong there. You're absolutely not wrong there. And with us on location this week, wherever the hell he is, in the middle of a field, I think he said earlier, it's Robbie the Brain Heenan.
Hello, guys. Yep.
Hello.
Recording, coming to you live from the Wyatt compound.
Just
Chapter.
Don't fall in that murky, muddy, gross water. Otherwise, you'll come back and you'll be bald and a bit moody.
Oh God, just being bald would fucking kill me.
Thanks.
No offense.
You're bald through choice, though, Chris.
Well, yeah, because I tore all my hair out. So...
No, I meant because you shaved it off for charity.
Well, I shaved off for charity, but it was also because I was balding, and I tried so hard to hold on to it, and it just wasn't working.
All right, fair
I
play.
thought it was because you get compared to Baron Corbin, and you went, "Fuck this, I'm out."
No, I actually really appreciated that. And then Baron Corbin followed suit and shaved his hair.
And then stole your waistcoat.
Yeah, he did steal the waistcoat. I did have that first.
Wait a minute, man. You shaved your head first, then Baron Corbin did it, and he had the waistcoat.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not the first.
And we know that Mr. Corbin is an avid podcast listener.
Yep.
Is he stealing your style?
It would seem so, yes. I mean, it's not the first time that someone stole something from me that's in the wrestling biz, but, ugh. Still sends shivers down my spine.
You could just steal it again and just go, 2 out of 3 falls.
I know, like, that was the thing I was thinking one day. Like, obviously in my job, as I say, I have a lot of time to think, and so sometimes even while I'm listening to podcasts or music, my mind kind of wanders. And I was like, if we won the lottery and started our own wrestling company and I was the ring announcer, I would purposely have the ring announcer or me say, like, the following contest is determined by pinfall or submission. Introducing first.
I like that.
Just completely take the one fall out of the equation.
Oh.
So people can't do it on my shows.
That's actually
you
quite
not doing
clever.
that?
No, what they do is they just bum rush right through the introduction so they've got no time to shout one
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the following contest scheduled for one fall, and it is for the NXT chat one fall.
Introducing first.
Yeah. Good old WWE. I mean, like, sometimes we call Vince McMahon a bit of a dick and all that, but the fact that he hates one fall means that he's always going to be kind of golden in my books.
Yeah. And he jumps off balconies.
Yeah, he
At
sure
70
does.
years old.
Oh, 70 plus.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point you may be kicking the balls off at 80.
You could be.
I don't think he's too far off because it was weird, right? I was sitting I was watching an old Stallone film, and I was wondering, like, he looks quite young in this film, and it's like 93. When was he born? Stallone was born in 1946.
Jesus Christ.
That must make him almost 80.
So Vince McMahon is 74 years old, so he's he's closer to. Yeah.
It's actually, what date are we on just now? 21st. It's actually Mr. McMahon's birthday on Monday. So happy birthday, Mr. McMahon, when it comes.
Well, and you know what? Sylvester Stallone, also 74 years old.
So they're the same age.
Well, Vince McMahon turned 75 in a few days.
Aye, that's a few days, but he's still 74.
As of right now, as of the recording of this podcast, Sylvester Stallone and Vince McMahon both 74 years old.
And both are probably still jacked to the gills.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't done a film together yet. So, anyway, what are we here to do today?
We're here to talk about wrestling.
Wrestling.
Big graps.
Yeah, so, I don't like the term graps.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Or especially, when people say Brit Rest when they're talking about British wrestling. I don't like that either.
World of Sport.
Brit Rest. Okay, so before we get into any of the shows that we're covering today, why don't we get into a bit of news? We normally don't do news on this podcast, but there has been a couple of very interesting stories that have been out this past week or so, because as we didn't have a show last week, and to be honest, we didn't miss it very much in terms of the TV that was on last week, did we?
Nah.
Not really, just the FTR where turning heel.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Oh yeah, God, that fucking AEW episode where like you could just literally hear fucking AEW just lapping up like buckets of fucking jizz from the Young Bucks fucking cocks. I should probably. Yeah, it was just like on that last episode of Dynamite, just the way that like, in the opening match, the way that one Young Buck managed to beat both the fucking Dark Order, and then later on, like Kenny Omega and Adam Page were like, "Oh, we were asked who our favorite tag team is." Oh, well, the Young Bucks, obviously. And then when the Rock and Roll Express were in the ring later on, it's like, you are by far the greatest tag team to ever put on a pair of boots and step into this ring. And just like, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did all this fucking what Young Buck bullshit come from?
Well, to be fair, Adam Page did say his favourite tag team was him and Kenny Omega.
Well, yeah, you should probably say that when you're the fucking tag champs. And then Kenny Omega's rebuttal was, oh, well, we're kind of two singles guys that have just been lumped together. It's like, wait, sell it.
But see, the thing is, though, I think that's been done on purpose because they're obviously building the tension again between Omega and Hangman. So, like, when Omega's like, oh, yeah, the Young Bucks, they're great. Hangman's like, no, we're great. Like, fucking get on board with this team, man. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Are you in a team with me or a team with them?
There was also
exactly.
There was more teasing of the Cleaner on being the Elite this week.
The Cleaner.
So I don't think it's too far away. Well, it wasn't really anything. It was just one that you would sort of like miss if you didn't have like a keen eye. Just the glasses, like his aviators were at like the top of his ring gear bag.
Oh yeah.
And you just seen like the Matt Jackson just go, oh fuck, not that asshole.
Yeah. I think the sooner the better when it comes to that. Plus, if like Kenny actually turns on Adam Page, and then that sets up the feud with Kenny being the heel, that could be something quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody always thought that Adam Page was the one turning heel. And it's definitely not going to be the case anymore, as we've kind of seen in these past couple of weeks.
Well, it's still a wee bit early to tell, because I mean, Page could still team up with FTR.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's going to be like kind of the end goal here. Is like whoever turns. I don't know, because it's kind of going to be one of these things where I feel like it might end up being like a face and two heels, or or two heels and a face, and then they're just like, yeah, but we're the elite, and Kenny just get out. It's like, no, me and the Young Bucks, we're the best pals, and that's it. like, fuck what you think, kind of thing. And
then civil war within elite.
Yeah. And then it's the three of them against FTR and Adam Page. And it's like, yeah, well, we're drinking buddies. I don't really care that they spiked an old man in the middle of the ring.
It was still good at the bumps.
Yeah, well, fucking Rock and Roll Express haven't stopped wrestling. They were fucking NWE Tag Team Champions earlier on this year.
Are they not still?
No, they lost. No, actually, sorry. I think they lost them at the end of last year. I beg your pardon. Because it's Royce. Oh, who is it actually? Is it Royce Isaacs and Bram that have them again? No, it's not. It was Jim Storm and Eli Drake.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet another example of Griz watches everything.
Thing.
Well, there's not much at NWA to watch now. Yep. They're not putting up new
I miss the NWA.
Yeah. Do you think they'll come back?
I mean,
once they get their shit together, a new production guy, yes.
Yeah. So says Smashing Pumpkins himself.
Fair enough.
Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. Homer Simpson, smiling politely.
Fucking one of my favourite jokes in The Simpsons, man.
And so I suppose the only other thing that happened on last week's television was a Velveteen Dream return. So that kind of swiftly moves us on to the news, which we referenced about 25 minutes ago at this point. So
10.
Yeah, it was 10. Felt like 25 minutes.
10.
Yeah, so we have 3 items of news to quickly talk about. And obviously, since we mentioned Velveteen Dream, he has returned. And Triple H said on a conference call recently that they looked into it, apparently, and found nothing. And that Dream was taken off of television because he was in a car crash.
He's actually said it.
So, what do you what, the car crash thing?
No, that he said it in an interview and then reaffirmed it in the Takeover conference call.
Okay.
So that they'd looked into it and didn't find anything.
Well, yeah, because I never looked that far.
Yeah, because I seen a tweet, I think it was from the dude himself, that was like, do you want more confirmation? And then started showing more DMs between the two of them. But I think this was... My
issue here is go to the police. Don't fucking post it on Twitter.
Yeah.
See, this is where my problem lies. If you're posting shit on Twitter and all that and not going to the police, then why are you not going to the police?
And it also can affect a police investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
It is very odd.
Yeah, to me, I'm not saying that obviously the victim's lying or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all, but I find that it's all very strange. There is no way WWE would have him on TV with those if there was anything that stuck with those accusations. Do we look at they dropped Enzo like a hot potato? Only for it to then come out that it never actually happened. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But bitch was lying.
But to be fair, I think Enzo's jacket was already in a sheet.
Yeah, and then the worst part.
I think they used that as an excuse to drop Enzo as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because they didn't like him.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not saying he's innocent, but I'm also not saying he's guilty. And
yeah,
he's innocent till proven guilty.
Yeah, basically. And the fact that it's another instance of trial by Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Go to the fucking police, let the police deal with it. Don't post tons of shit on fucking Twitter, because to me that kind of comes across as not attention. Yeah, not attention seeking. That was the wrong thing, but yeah, quite vindictive. Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, like, I'm kind of hoping that something comes out about this and, like, all gets settled once and for all, because it just kind of seems as if, like, it's very awkward for everybody involved. You know, this dude, Velveteen, WWE as a whole, and even as the fans, because, like, obviously a lot of them are just kind of like, I don't feel like I can cheer this guy right now, knowing that there's this kind of thing that may or may not be happening.
Could you imagine if they were running in front of crowds just now? What would the reaction be?
I mean, technically Velveteen Dream is a heel now, so like they could just spin that as, oh man, the fans really don't like what Velveteen Dream done last week to blah 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 Kushida.
So do you think the heel turn's been intentional?
Maybe, just to cover their back slightly.
With the news of this Thunderdome thing?
Ah, yes, the Thunderdome. Well, actually, that is a good question, though. And it spins on to the second part of the news. The Thunderdome has been erected, and obviously some photos have already... God damn it. And there was some photos that came out of what seemed to be a trial match last night between Jake Atlas and someone that kind of looks like Ortiz, but obviously isn't. But fucking, like, I defy you to look at those photos and don't be like, don't think that isn't Ortiz. Like, just look at the way he's dressed.
Have you heard the rules for if you are participating in the Thunderdome?
I assume probably the rules are similar to, you know, don't get your tits or your wang out, and probably not swear, because I have heard that your audio gets pumped through the sound system or something along those lines.
The rules are no sharing or forwarding links.
Boo.
No one else in the household can be using the internet for streaming during the broadcast.
Yeah, too right.
Be respectful at all times.
No.
No smoking.
Oh, never mind then.
Appearing intoxicated will result in the feed's termination.
What's the
Oh,
that?
Jesus.
No political statements.
Okay, I don't follow politics.
Coming from fucking an old man that continues to give Trump fucking shitloads of money, but no political statements.
Millions upon millions.
No obscene gestures.
Yeah, fuck
no
you, Vince.
Cursing.
Yeah, like meat spin.
No promoting a third-party brand.
Oh, so, well, there goes my idea of the big turning heel banner I was going to have.
Proper attire must be worn at all times.
So no naked time?
To me, that just sounds like gross misconduct, which is very vague. And no logos or graphics in the background.
That could also be considered promoting, I guess.
And we will see the Thunderdome tonight on SmackDown, NXT Takeover, Summerslam, and then for the next couple of weeks.
Sweet.
I tried to register and it wouldn't let me.
Bah.
Yeah, I tried to register as well.
Maybe it may be an American only thing.
No, I think it's just they're only allowed a certain amount of people.
Yeah, but I have heard that, like, however many people are on the screens, they have, like, a good amount of replacement feeds. So that if anybody drops out for any reason, that there'll be replacement feeds. So maybe they're all filled up as well.
So it's a bit like the seat fillers then if you're at a live show.
Yeah, the seat filler kind of thing. Man, I would love that job.
My friend done it when Raw and SmackDown were in Glasgow.
God damn it. How did he get that job?
I don't know. I think he got
even...
it through a certain. I think he got it through a certain Glasgow promoter.
I wasn't even at those shows. I would have loved to have been a seat filler.
You didn't go to the Glasgow Hydro shows for Raw and SmackDown?
Nah, I didn't have the fucking cash. I was pretty poor during that period of time. I mean, I'm not saying I'm fucking rolling in cash now, but I'm doing better.
I'm slumping my way down to Westminster and demanding that postmen get a raise. And nurses.
Damn right.
Fair play.
Damn right we should. Yeah. So yeah, we'll we're obviously going to be all doing a wee get together for NXT tomorrow night. So we will get to see the Thunderdome live. If it's going to be at NXT.
Yeah, it's going to be at Full Sail.
Hell yeah.
Is it going to be at Full Sail? It seems fucking an awful lot of equipment to fucking put into that wee tiny arena.
Well, it says here WWE released its initial schedule for the Thunderdome during its initial press release. Friday 21st, SmackDown Amway Centre. Saturday 22nd, NXT Takeover 30 Full Sail. Then back to the Amway Centre for SummerSlam, Raw. Back to Full Sail again for NXT. Amway Centre for SmackDown, Payback, and then the following night's Raw.
That seems like so much hassle. Why not?
See, to be honest, that kind of says to me that Takeover should just be in the Amway Centre like they normally do. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's this website. I don't think it's legit. The website is my source here is comicbook.com.
Oh, fuck.
Seems legit.
Aye, they're a pure clickbait site.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got the rules from for the Thunderdome.
Because we'll see. Like, I was under the impression NXT wasn't involved in it. But,
I was until Robert said that, and then I was like, maybe they're just going to do NXT Takeover at the Amway Centre in front of the Thunderdome. Yeah, and
just like I don't understand how that setup can work in Full Sail, because Full Sail's tiny, man. Like, you don't get an appreciation as to how small it is, like, until you're actually there. Do you know what I mean? It is fucking tiny.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the fact that, like, to be honest, on NXT they have never once said where Takeover was going to be, so it could just be in the Amway Centre, and that's just what happens.
I think they'd be daft not to do it in the Amway Centre, especially when they've got that there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I'm now on ringsidenews.com, and they're saying that Triple H said that all WWE programming is moving to the Amway Centre, and he's happy that NXT is staying at Full Sail because of their partnership and how long the relationship's been.
Well, and that could be just for television, though.
And it says they'll remain on the college campus recording their programming until further notice.
Okay, but Takeover's not programming, though. That's technically a pay-per-view.
Well, it's a network special.
Yeah, exactly. That's not considered programming exactly. So it's not going to be aired on USA Network. So by that kind of thing, that kind of says. It
also says here that WWE has a 2-month agreement with the Amway Centre.
Yeah, I read that, and then after that, it's probably looking like there'll be crowds back.
Since AEW appearing to have crowds back soon.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I think it's not this coming Dynamite, but maybe the next one. I think there's going to be a 10 to 15% capacity.
That's a lot less than what the general sort of rule is, because it's 30%, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact they're going a wee bit less is sort of giving me a wee bit of hope that they're still doing the right thing.
Well,
because they could build up to that.
They're setting up like pods.
Oh, that's good.
So like,
like Firefest.
So yeah, like it's going to be like pods that they're setting up. So like a family of 5 can go, and they would all sit in like the one section. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, so it's like hiring a cabana at the pool.
A Coke cabana.
Boom, boom.
Coke cabana.
Don't know how true that is. That's just what I read, that they were going to be like setting up like what they were calling as pods, which meant that bigger groups can go, but
yeah, up to like 6 people.
Only if they're in like the same social bubble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we could go. Fuck it, let's go.
Booking a flight now.
Yes. Fly me to Davy's Palace, Pronto.
Yeah.
Davy's Place. Fuck knows
Davy's Palace.
Yeah. One day we'll get that right. And so the kind of, well, the last bit of news is Sonya Deville's been having a fucking rough ass week with some schlub on fucking Instagram that's been I don't like, because harassing is definitely the wrong word, because it's definitely went past the point of harassing. Like, so from the timeline that I can figure out here, he's been harassing her for a while because he was in love with her, and then there was one point, one set of messages back and forth that I seen with Sonya and him, where she's like, "No, you're sick. You need help. I've taken photos of all these DMs, and I'm going to send them to everybody on your contact list and have your account deleted." And then there was like one reply where he says, please don't do that. I'm married." And then she was like, "Well, you kind of should have thought about that." And then like the rest of that message kind of got cut off. But and then the next one that I seen was a new account that he had made. So evidently that first account did get deleted. And it was something along the lines of, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're going to taste my punches. A prostitute is a prostitute," or something along those lines, like some weird ass shit. And then, yeah. And then it kind of all escalated to the point where, and I've not seen these DMs for exact, but there was apparently, well, this bit's not apparent. This bit definitely did happen. He drove from wherever he stayed to Sonya's house because he somehow managed to obtain that information, and Sonya and Mandy Rose were hanging out. They went back to Sonya's house, and then he started sending her direct messages saying, "Oh yeah, look outside by your pool. I'm outside." And eventually, like, this all got to the point where he was arrested. And again, this is all just stuff I've read. I don't know how true this is, but one of the parts that I read was that he said that he was going to tie up Sonya and wasn't going to let her go until she answered all of his questions. And then even one place I actually kind of heard that he threatened that he was going to murder Mandy Rose in front of her. I don't know how true that part is, but it was something that I heard somewhere.
Sounds like a Scream film.
Yeah. This is like fucking mega fucking horror movie material right here. This is fucked up.
Especially with the messages going, "I'm outside by your pool." That's just pure ghost face.
Yeah, totally. I turn your fucking porch light on.
Oh, that's fucking creepy. I feel so bad for the two of them. Well, I say the two of them, but like, obviously more of my sympathy goes towards Sonya because she's been putting up with it longer.
Yeah, of course, but like the fact that like if that whole part about this dude saying that he was going to murder Mandy in front of her, like
to be clear, by both of them, I mean Mandy and Sonya.
Yeah, it was just like that. That's a fucking really scary ass thing for anybody to hear. It's like, oh god, oh good. So I could have been that close to being murdered by some fucking freak.
Oh.
She was that close to being murdered by some freak.
Yeah. And I think I feel like this is also like, considering the fact that within the past week as well, they have also initiated the whole WWE putting a no touching policy on meet and greets with superstars, and then it was kind of outlaid with like 4 really awkward photos of women wrestlers and guys.
Yeah. I mean, fucking the fact that those photos were allowed to be taken is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know.
And it's probably just to keep the queues going, because I imagine these queues are a long, long wait sometimes. You'd be able to tell that.
Yes, they are. Fucking stood in them enough.
Yeah, you know from personal experience.
Yeah, they are brutal. So the whole thing with Sonya and stuff like that, it's fucking mental, man. Like, I can't get my head around why someone would be that creepy. Do you know what I mean?
Because well, the thing is, like, we were kind of talking about this off mic, but like, obviously the fact is he's like insanely in love with her, but like, you know, like, sadly, as the saying goes, is love makes you do crazy things. But Jesus Christ, man, like,
it's clearly went beyond love and moved into obsession.
Obsession, yeah. And then even, well, it's got to the point where, like, I feel like it turned from love to when she started kind of replying, being like, "This is fucking too much," and like, "I'm going to share this with all your friends and all that, and show them what kind of a person you are." And he's like, "No, I'm married. Please don't." Like, so it clearly then turned into like a revenge plot.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just to add that little cherry on top of the cake is the fact that, you know, Sonya Deville is a lesbian. So no matter what kind of like relationship she's in, right? Because one of the other posts was like, "Oh, please give me a chance if you're single again." And it's just like, what part of she's a lesbian are you not getting here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling fans are fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing is that they give the majority of us that are sound a bad name.
Yeah.
I know.
The ones that know how to respect people's boundaries and stuff, we all get lumped in with those fucking freaks that just don't know when no means no.
And then then there's that other guy that always hangs about around the performance center, even though he literally has what's that thing called? Distance thing.
The restraining order.
Oh, a restraining order.
One. Yes, thank you. And then even to the point where he was shot one time because he violated the restraining order.
Yeah. Is he not in jail now for something else? I'm sure he was in the news again recently.
Yeah, I think it was.
It may have been him getting shot, actually.
No, I think recently he did crop up again, and I think he was trying to get into the performance center again, maybe. And because of the restraining order, maybe him violating it again, maybe the point where we're like, okay, you've been shot before over this, so let's just arrest you.
Well, the fact that he's breaking the restraining order and attempting breaking and entering.
Yeah. I mean, as we've seen on Raw recently, all you really need is a couple of cinder blocks and you can get in.
Yeah, I know. It's not exactly difficult.
Yeah.
I seen Kerry McIntosh had tweeted today, and he was like, if wrestling shows were to start up again with like mandatory face masks and social distancing, like included, would people like go to shows? And I see one guy had responded saying, "To be fair, I social distance with fat, sweaty wrestling fans every time I go." And I was like, "Yeah, I get that, man." But But yeah, so shall we get on to TV? Have we covered all the new stuff?
Yeah, that's pretty much news. Maybe we'll keep an eye on the Sonya situation. I mean, we might do it a different podcast, but
like I said to you, Griz, when I had sent you that story initially, I was like, it's getting that mental now. It probably will be an episode there happening once it's done and the court case and all that's out of the way. It's definitely a future episode, I think.
I mean, it may not be the longest story in the world, but
it depends what comes out about this guy.
That's true, because I mean, like, I think there was more stuff that's kind of came out recently from Sonya about it, so I guess it's a stay tuned to let's put a pin in this, and it may end up being something.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, so that's newsy news right there.
Indeed. So, what are we talking about first, TV-wise, then, Griz?
Well, because there was no AEW episode right now, that will be happening tomorrow night just before NXT starts, or maybe overlapping with NXT, something along those lines. We haven't really figured out all the bells and whistles of that yet, so regardless, that's going to be fun.
Sorry. Speaking of NXT tomorrow, right? So this is just another wee news item. Did anyone notice that they're going to have a pre-show match?
Yes, it's a triple threat for the number one contenders. What, having a
pre-show match on NXT?
Well, actually, I think you'll find that one of the more recent NXT Takeover shows, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Angel Garza had a pre-show match.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Glasgow Uni, Griz.
I was actually going to say, do you remember the post in takeover shows that they would have in NXT, and it would basically be from the arena that they had the takeovers at?
Yeah, it's like two matches, and then one match, and then all the rest of it is just this is what happened at Takeover.
So for the live audience, that would essentially be a pre-show match.
Yeah, I know that, but I meant like I meant a pre-show match, one, like before it starts. Do you know what I mean? Like live. But
I think it's going to be a pretty good match.
Yeah, it is a really good match, but they've obviously done that on purpose because they know that AEW is going to be on.
Yeah,
that'll definitely be colliding with it.
Yeah.
Wednesday night wars have now moved to a Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, we have our plan for the occasion anyway, so. But yeah, as I say, because AEW are not airing the show until Saturday, we are going to finally talk about the women's tag team tournament, the Deadly Draw. Because we did say a couple of weeks ago that we'll do this as one full episode, and what better way to do it than this week where there's no AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. Then obviously we'll cover the final next week.
Yeah, we'll cover the final.
I say next week. The next episode's probably going to be out a hell of a lot sooner than next week, if that makes sense. But on the next episode, we'll cover the final.
Yeah, because the final is on the Saturday night edition of Dynamite. I mean, it's probably going to be as soon as within the next couple of days.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so use. Well, Chris, I know your answer, but Robert, were you watching the tournament as it happened, or did you just binge watch it all when you knew we were covering it?
I watched it as it happened, but I didn't watch this week's one until yesterday.
Nice. Right. So this was on Monday nights, which meant you got AEW three times a week for the past 3 weeks.
4 times if you include being the elite.
I don't.
I do.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Well, okay, wrestling wise, you got three wrestling episodes of AEW. So the stage looks all different. It's all nice and purple. And then we go to your commentary team of Tony Schiavone and Veda Scott.
I thought she was quite good in commentary, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? Like she seemingly knew more than fucking Tony Schiavone did about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I genuinely think, like, okay, it might be a bit of a fucking maybe sexist thing, but like, why not just bring her on for like fucking women's matches in the future? Like, she could be the official like women's commentator, and then just commentate all the women's matches or something along those lines. Yeah. She's a great like commentator. Like, it's not the first time that she's done commentary either, obviously. And
I would maybe have her instead of Taz on Dynamite now until Excalibur comes back.
Well, I think Excalibur's coming back on not this episode, but the next episode. So, you know, it's not too long until Excalibur comes back. It seems as if anybody gets
this episode. I'm sure I read last week it was back this week, unless they taped it last week.
Maybe. I may just be getting my dates mixed up. I'm just gonna take a quick look. But anyway, like as we kind of says, like, so like at least Vader Scott was a nice little like addition to this. So it was not like fucking Tony Schiavone and like say JR like fumbling over things, not having a real clue about what's going on or anything.
Yeah.
And then
sorry, on you go.
I was just gonna say like and the way that Vader Scott seemed to like keep bringing up different aspects of storylines that even I think Tony Schiavone forgot about. Like, for example, in this first episode when Mel was wrestling, she brought up the fact that like, oh yeah, well, like, because she Mel what used to be part of the Nightmare Collective, and Vader Scott brought up the fact, it's like, oh yeah, like she had her head shaved by Brandy Rhodes and all that to join the Nightmare Collective, and then Tony Schiavone just kind of went, that's right, yes, you're right, you're absolutely right about that. And I think that was one of those kind of things where Tony Schiavone literally went, fuck, that did happen.
Yeah.
And I was there for that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I say I want more Vader on my TV screen.
She has a wee sweetheart as well.
Indeed.
So on the mic, as in the commentary mic, we had Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Shaul Guerrero.
Yep.
Last seen on the season finale of Lucha Underground, season 4.
Correctamundo.
Johnny Mundo.
Correcta Johnny Mundo.
Correct to John. Fucking.
I mean, yeah.
Both of your knowledge of wrestling fucking scares me, man.
If only I could apply it to other things.
I know.
Useful things.
I know, like learning another language or something like that, but instead it's like, no, but wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, we win a lot of fucking wrestling quizzes, so.
Yeah, we might have to change our team name, actually.
I was about to say, I just dawned on me there. We
yeah.
need to change your team name.
Yeah, I think the Velvet Dream Team is dead.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Dream over.
Or we could just call ourselves the Velvet Dream Team. P.S. We don't touch kids.
Let's not go down that route.
If you have to put in P.S. we don't touch kids, it means that folk might think about it.
No one.
It's like saying, I'm not racist, but.
Aye.
Yeah.
Or I didn't rob that bank, But if I was to, this is how I would have done it.
Yeah.
Or if you're like a famous American football player.
I
did tell my wife, but if I did do it, here's what I would do, and I would write a book about it.
You just beat me to that there, Robert.
Yeah, the book called F. I did it!
Aye. What a dick he is. Anyway, that's another story for another podcast. Oh,
that's what maybe for a happening.
Which actually, a nice wee plug here. Next week's episode of A Happening does involve something to do with O.J. Simpson, so give it a listen.
Yep, we'll be coming out with a bunch more episodes in the very, very short future. I don't even think that made sense. What was the word I was looking for there?
Near future.
Near future, thank you.
Yeah. But there is a theory around the O.J. Simpson thing in the next episode that's coming out, so give it a listen, folks.
Absolutely. And then, tweet and Facebook what you think. But we'll save that for whenever that's released, and then we'll obviously bring it to you here. But a nice little...
Which depends on whether or not Griz has done his proof listen. It could be out tonight or tomorrow.
Yes. So, as I say, we get Shaw Guerrero as the ring announcer for this tournament, and then we get fucking Medusa. She comes out and does what she loves to do best, and that is talk a lot. I'm surprised that they actually managed to get her to not speak for 45 minutes. Because it just...
I imagine they edited it.
Yeah. Because, honestly, it was just that one time that she was on Table for Three. I can't remember who she was on with, but it just felt like she spoke for, about 80% of that, 20-odd minute episode. And it was just wow.
It was a bit like... Do you remember she was on the Rumble panel for the pre-show a few years ago?
Yeah, and she hadn't a fucking clue what was going on.
They asked her, who do you think is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble? And she had no clue even who was in it or who any of the current stars were.
Yeah, she kept saying something like, who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble? The fans are going to win the Royal Rumble. All the women involved, they're going to win because this is a great moment for women's wrestling. No. What we're asking you is who actually is going to win the Royal Rumble? Well, as I say, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that can go into this. A lot of stuff can change. And then I think it was JBL who's like, no. What I'm asking you is give me a fucking name of a participant that is in this match that who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. And then clearly at that point, somebody in her headset just say Nia Jax. And she's like, okay, Nia Jax, I think she's going to win the Royal Rumble. And they're like, thank fuck. You finally got through this.
It went on for about 2 or 3 minutes. It was very crowded.
It was embarrassing. So she loves
that, right? Our first match.
Our first match. So we had backstage Penelope Ford, which picked her chip, and she will be teaming with Mel, as we mentioned, who has not been seen very much in the past little while.
I don't think she's been seen since just after the end of the Nightmare Collective.
Yeah, I feel like there was 1 or 2 episodes on Dark where she was kind of still wandering about with Luther, and then she just kind of disappeared. So this has been the first time in a long time that we've seen Mel in the ring. Mm-hmm. So she's going to be teaming with Penelope Ford. And their opponents, hailing from the Nightmare Factory, or whatever the fuck it's called. Brandy and Ali, the Nightmare Sisters, because backstage we seen that Brandy picked her color, and then she's like, oh look, red, and then she kind of just went, red is my color, and just stood right in the way of the box, and then Ali just started rummaging through the box. I was like, I found red too, which I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, that was quite funny. That got a wee pop out of me.
Yeah. Because Ali is the sweetest human being that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Ali. I did prefer her as the bunny, though, for reasons I won't disclose on a podcast. But
I think they're kind of implied.
Yeah. Don't think it takes a genius to work that one out.
So, I mean, this was a decent little match. Mel being the kind of big girl of the match in terms of, height and all that. So she was kind of the kind of strong woman of the team. The enforcer, indeed.
To me, she's just a baldy Tamina.
Well, that's kind of disrespectful to Mel.
No, but like the look, the way that they both wrestle, they're very much one and the same.
I would still argue Mel's better.
I would say Mel's a better wrestler, yeah.
Yeah.
But not by much.
Not by much, but yeah, I mean, Tamina is to say that Tamina is garbage would be disrespectful to garbage. But I mean that's my opinion. But it is a correct opinion. As this match started to wind down, Ali came in and attacked Penelope Ford, which allowed Mel to come in and hit the chokeslam on Brandy and got the visual 3 count. But since it was only visual, by the time the ref finally turned around and it got to the pin, it was only a 2 as Brandy finally kicked out. Although, Mel did have another match and trying to get Brandy's shoulder on the ground. And then, Kip Sabian took out, I think it was QT Marshall on the outside. And while all that happened, the referee being distracted again, Ali dug her claws right into the eyes of Mel, which allowed Brandy Rhodes to hit a spear.
I would just call it bumping into someone.
Yeah, running at someone.
How dare you? Moose taught her how to do the spear.
I know, and Moose is fucking horrendous, so...
Mad Mini Moose.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a nice comparison, to be honest. Calling her Mini Moose.
No, that's what she was called when her and Cody were on Impact. When Brandy was teaming with Moose and he was teaching her the spear, he was calling her Mini Moose.
I know, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into it. So this is probably the first time that we're going to bring this up. We get an advert for AEW heels. So if you want to be a women's wrestling fan, you can pay $50 a year to be one.
Yeah,
it's been about for a while.
I know, but this is literally the first time we've brought it up, so...
I mean, I think it's to harken back to what we were talking about earlier, it's a sad state of affairs where a company can actually put a paywall in front of female wrestling fans, so they don't have to deal with the shit that they get off male wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's sad.
I know, but then the thing is, like, see the kind of perks that you have, they're not even that great. It's like, oh, you get to be in an exclusive Zoom call with Brandy Rhodes. It's like, wow, my favorite wrestler.
Said no one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a discussion about Brandy later.
Okay.
Oh, Sam.
Well, well, you know what? We're going to get into this next match, and I don't think that I can do this match justice. So, Tainara Conti and the star of the show herself.
What a fucking beautiful looking woman she is. I genuinely fell in love watching this.
Who? Anna Jay or Tainara Conti? Or, sorry, Tay Conti?
Tay Conti.
I mean, to be honest, that team in general.
Yes, but Tay Conti for me is like, wow.
I mean, yeah, she always was. So she teamed with Anna Jay, who comes out and, she comes out to her own theme song, comes out in the little kind of masquerade mask, flanked by the Dark Order, doesn't even do the pose. Doesn't even hold up the claw.
But then they said in commentary that she's like Colt Cabana, she's just hanging out with them. She's not actually joined. She's got a mask, which is a bit daft because she looked pretty fucking joined the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and again the fact that like the Dark Order came out with her, and she's always there with the Dark Order, where sometimes Colt Cabana just isn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there for this.
Yeah.
But neither was Uno or Grayson or Brody Lee.
Yeah, they were.
In this first match, Uno, Grayson, and Brody Lee were there.
And the second match as well.
I must have missed them then, I apologise.
No, they were definitely there. The second match, Brody Lee was out in the first match, he was just out in kind of like his suit sort of thing. And the second match, he was out in his cloak. He was definitely there.
So, as I was hinting, I don't think I can do this match justice. So their opponents were Nyla Rose and Robert. You can take this one away because your favourite wrestlers in this match.
Nyla Rose is in this match.
No, I meant your other favourite. They're formerly known as Cameron, Ari, and Andrew. Take it away, Rob.
Oh, fuck's sake, really?
She has not got any better.
I actually thought that, see how when Shaw was introducing Nyla Rose to the ring, I thought she was going to go, being accompanied by my mama.
She might as well have. Everyone knows. Do you know what I mean?
They're both called Guerrero. It's not a secret. But this was kind of weird. I was straight off the bat, I wasn't interested right away because of Cameron. I was kind of just looking forward to the end because I knew, right, they're not going to go through Nyla and I'm just going to call her Cameron because I don't really know how to pronounce her name. They weren't going to get through because she's fucking horrendous. Cameron, not nearly said Nia Jax. Nyla Rose. So at the end, when I was waiting for a big beatdown from Nyla to Cameron, all I got was a clothesline. Nyla, you left me with blue balls, hen.
Yeah. I know, because I think like as soon as this tag team was announced, we started talking about it. It's like, oh well, you know that Cameron's just going to be there to take the fall, then Nyla Rose is going to beat the shit out of her. But the kind of whole match was Nyla Rose struggling with a leg injury, and then Andrew got defeated. But as we were kind of saying when before we came on here, Andrews got defeated, and then Nyla Rose, when she swung that clothesline and took out Andrews, like she was still selling the leg, and I thought the kind of story of the match was Nyla Rose was just like pretending that she had this injury because she kind of thought that this tag tournament was beneath her. But the fact that she was still selling the leg, and then as you brought up, Robert, that she has not been seen on Dynamite since. Like she's been in the crowd, but she has not wrestled on Dynamite since. Or Dark, yes. Is this a question of, is Nyla Rose injured?
I really hope not. I really do.
Because, I mean, she is also still meant to be the number one contender for the women's title. She was meant to be getting a rematch against Hikaru Shida. But it seems as if that story's just kind of went to the wayside because Shida just kind of keeps doing the whole, oh, well, I'm still waiting on a challenge, yada, yada. So it feels almost as if this is kind of been dropped for one reason or another. And considering, All Out is like, what, 2 weeks away? 2 weeks tomorrow?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it's very much questioning whether or not that match is going to happen at all right now.
See how you're thinking about it though. Was this maybe taped before Sheeta started doing the sort of bring it on, anybody can challenge me sort of thing? So they've known not to put Nyla in it because she's possibly injured.
Maybe it was like a kind of nagging injury that just ended up getting a bit fucked here. Like, I mean, I don't really know what else I can really think of here. Just as it was you that mentioned it, was the fact that the absence of Nyla Rose on TV ever since this match is what kind of makes the whole conversation quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, like, is there even going to be...
all we can really do now is speculate, like, because there's no facts. There's been no statement or anything put out regarding her possible injury.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we kind of just need to wait and see. But the fact that there's only 2 weeks until this pay-per-view is what's making this a little bit suspect, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless they're going to do an open challenge type thing, and then whoever answers it, Nyla Rose just comes out and fucking destroys them.
A bit like when Kofi went to go into the Elimination Chamber and Edge done him in and took his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Oh, I would love that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind just an open challenge and somebody exciting and new comes out, but if of course this is the case of Nyla Rose is actually injured.
Yeah.
What they could maybe do with Shida is they've kind of already announced that Britt Baker's going to be facing Big Swole at All Out. You could have the winner of that go on to fight Shida later on in the night.
See, that's a great idea.
And then it means there's a bit more behind that match.
Yeah.
Than
Or
just a rivalry that's been building for a few months.
Or the alternative here is whoever wins the cup, they're going to go in a match All Out, like maybe say the pre-show match or something, like very early on in the night, and the two winners will face each other, and the person that wins that becomes number one contender and goes for Shida later on.
I really hope not, because then that puts the fear of God in me. Considering who I think is going to win the tournament.
Well, why don't we'll put a pin in that conversation just now until we get to who's going to be in the final match. So we'll very swiftly move on to episode 2, where 2, yes.
No,
where
deux in French.
Oh, dos. Episode dos.
I thought you said trois.
Did I say trois?
You did say
yeah.
trois.
Un, deux, trois. Oh, because trois is 3. Because yay me. So we move on to episode dos, where Big Swole is joined by Little Swole, who is Nicole Savoy, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so those of you that may not follow like the independent women's wrestling scene may know Nicole Savoy from, I think it was the second Mae Young Classic, and anyone that listened to those kind of episodes at the time knew that I wasn't very high on her. Well, that opinion hasn't changed. But however, she was not the worst wrestler in this match, because we found out that Leva Bates is joined by, oh god, I'm going to butcher this, Rocher Chanel?
Ferrero Rocher.
Rocher Chanel. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know how to pronounce fucking chocolate.
I thought you were going to insinuate Leva Bates was a bad wrestler there, and we were about to have an argument, Griz.
Well, you know what? Enough people do that in the fucking internet, so I think I'm going to give her a fucking, like, you know, a little bit of slack here.
Fair
But
play.
that Rochelle Chanel, I've been watching her a couple of weeks on Dark, and hey, I mean, she's a bit like Alicia Fox, except Alicia Fox looks like a fucking god.
To be fair to her, see how our gimmick, I like it.
The gimmick is kind of fun.
The gimmick's fun, but our wrestling is not.
No. I mean, it's quite evident that she is quite new to the business. So,
yeah.
Like, obviously, this might come with time, and you know what? In a year or two, we might be saying completely different things about Chanel. But right now, it's just.
Yeah.
Do you know what she actually reminded me of? White chicks.
In what way exactly?
See how when the two guys go undercover and they're being the white women?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a man posing as a woman with like the antics. It's just, it comes across very tacky. Like, she's not meant to really know what she's doing, and all she just like sort of like, it doesn't matter how I look, I've got a Chanel handbag.
But actually, you see the way that you see tacky, that's actually quite good, because I kind of get the feeling that maybe it's a case of like, you know, all her stuff is cheap brand knockoffs. And she's like...
except her one Chanel handbag that she's named herself after.
No, but like kind of the way that like, it's all cheap brand knockoffs, and the only Chanel that's legit is her. But like all of her stuff is like cheap knockoffs, and like she's trying to be this pure like movie star. Look at me, I've got all this money, and look at my Chanel handbag, but like Chanel's spelled wrong kind of thing, as if she's like trying to be somebody she's not.
Do you mean like a social media influencer?
I don't know who you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about anyone in particular. It's the whole thing of social media influencers. They make it look like they have like this amazing life, and I buy the most amazing dresses, but what you don't see is that the tag's still on it, and they take it back.
Oh, one of those kinds of people.
Yeah.
Well, somebody didn't turn the phone off.
It's Ben's phone. He's left it in here.
Throw it out the window.
Oh, God, I'm just gonna...
So Big and Little Swole are the opponents. Obviously, they've had some history in the independent scene. Big Swole coming out in her tuxedo mask outfit again from Sailor Moon, which I do appreciate, being a massive Sailor Moon mark, at least back in the day. Like, Sailor Moon, Jesus Christ, probably the first animated chick that I had a major crush on.
No comment.
Yeah,
Never
I'm
seen
not
it.
going to comment on that either. I have no idea what any of that meant.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah, so like obviously because Big and Little Swole, I guess we'll call her in this match, have teamed together before. Obviously, they were more or less kind of dominant in this match. As we kind of mentioned, Chanel wasn't exactly the best wrestler in the world. And Leva Bates done her best. Like, she was almost in the ring for most of this stuff, to be honest with you. Yeah. And she ended up getting beat by a sort of a kind of a double team kind of move with Big Swole sort of whipping her into Little Swole, and then it ended with the double team maneuver of kind of a, I mean, what would you call it? A kind of a pay dirt with like a kind of flipping over neck breaker, I guess is the. Or actually, you know what? To be even slightly more accurate, it was kind of like Mr. Anderson's old finisher, the Mike check. You know, kind of like where you set up for a rock bottom, but then you just kind of fall on your back.
Yeah, so it's almost like a downward spiral.
That may be the actual name of it.
Well, that's what Edge called it. Canyon done one called Flatliner.
That sounds probably the most legit. Because that's what I do.
Since it was done by the Swoles, I'm going to call it Swollen.
I like it. Yeah, because that's what I do. Is I don't know the actual name of moves. I just I just relate it to the closest to the minute. Like, remember for a long ass time, I didn't know the name of the submission move, the stretch muffler, so I just kept calling it the Brock Lock because that was the last person that I'd seen use it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that kind of thing where it's like, if I only ever see it once and I know it by that name, that's the name I go for until I learn it.
Fair play.
But that's just me. So we go backstage and we have Ivelisse. She draws her chip, and she is teaming with Diamante. The two of them just wrestled each other like not that long ago on Dynamite, and now they're tag team partners. Then Dasha is backstage. She's like, okay, we're going to pick the next participant for this match. And then Medusa comes back because, you know, of course she does. And she's like, no, now you get to pick. And Dasha's like, oh my God, am I in the tournament? I'm in the tournament? Oh my God. Picks her chip. And her tag team partner is the daughter of Paul Ellering, Rachel Ellering. Or Rachel Evers.
I thought it was a bit daft. She's like, oh, I'm in the tournament. Would you not need to sort of put your name into the hat and consent to being in the tournament before you get told, oh, you're in the tournament?
I know. Like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, she was like, nah, I don't feel like it. Then what would happen?
I mean, like, it depends on the contract she has. She might have a contract saying you will wrestle as and when required. I mean, her employer is telling her she's required to wrestle, therefore she has to do it.
You will do what I tell you when I tell you to do it.
Yeah, basically.
I guess. So Rachel Ellering is the Queen of Strong Smile?
I thought that was Kylie Ray.
I know, but like, you know, the Titantron and the T-shirt that Ellering had said Strong Smile, so
yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't quite get that.
No,
it wasn't great.
Yeah. What was great was Dasha's ring gear because she looked incredible.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't really argue with that. What did you think of Dasha as a wrestler?
There's something there. It's just, she's like a diamond in the rough the new weekend. I need to shine her up and buff her down.
Hey.
She's still got a ways to go. But there's something there.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely has charisma. I mean, I feel like that's that kind of thing where it's like her being a backstage announcer probably helps with that. Like, we know her as this sweet, likable person, so that probably already helps very much. So when she comes into like her first match, and it's like, all right, well, we already know that we fucking like her, and she's a cute little bubbly person. So that kind of like, at least like, you know, we kind of have like feelings about her because Lord knows the first time you see a wrestler, sometimes you don't really know how to take them. And at least like with this being like one of our first matches, at least we know going into this, like, oh well, we like her because she's a nice person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so Ivelisse and Diamante were the opponents. You know, the two of them have quite the experience edge on their hands. And to be honest, the two of them worked pretty well together. They both came out with their flags. I don't really know where they're from, to be honest, but
Ivelisse is from
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
uh-huh.
I can't remember what flag Diamante had.
I mean, like the thing is, like they're kind of the same flag, like they're but they're different colors. So I think it's still like a kind of Latina-esque kind of place.
South America.
Maybe. I mean,
Oh, it's definitely South America. Because were they not speaking Spanish to each other?
yeah, because that was kind of the other thing, was like they are very much alike. But also Diamante's still wearing that LAX gear, which is Well, actually, where the hell is LAX airport?
Los Angeles.
Well, that may be it then. Maybe that's where Diamante's from. Like sort of like because because wasn't that where Lucha Underground was filmed?
Yes.
So oh my god, I'm a fucking detective.
Okay, Griz.
I should buy that detective box thing that they talk about in podcasts.
I really want to fucking buy that, man. Hunt a Killer.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
I really want to buy that.
No, I think it would be super sweet. But it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, is it like is it like one case in a box, or is it a continuation thing? Because I would hate to like kind of order one of those if it's a continuation thing and be like, I haven't a clue what I'm fucking doing.
No, it is a continuation thing, but when you order it, you start from the first box.
Oh right, so
I think
some people.
Yeah, I think they've got
some people could be doing it for months. Yeah, so some people can be doing it for months, but if you start from the first box.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, see, considering this was Dasha's first match, she done pretty decently, as we kind of says, but it all came down to Ivelisse and did I see Diamante there?
Yeah.
I meant Dasha. Sorry. It's not Diamante's first match. I beg your pardon. So Dasha, she done pretty well for her first match. But you know, the experience got her, and Ivelisse kind of hit what looked like a flipping sunset flip for the win. And as I kind of say, the Diamante and Ivelisse, they definitely worked much better as a tag team. So it kind of all comes down to stuff like that. Even in the deadly draw, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, see, for me, I thought I liked the concept of this whole deadly draw thing, and anyone could end up with anyone. There's far too many coincidences in it, though.
Is there?
Yeah, 100%.
What, so do you think Diamante and Ivelisse were a quinky dink?
No, I don't think it's quinky dink. I think they've tried to make it legitimate that this is just, they just happen to draw each other. Which, fine, if you have one team that just happened to draw each other, then cool. But there's a few different teams that were like that, like Big Swole and Little Swole. And
yeah,
to an extent,
that one.
To an extent, the Nightmare Sisters as well. But that was obviously fucking. It was clever how they done that because they cheated to get drawn together. But then you've also got Rachel and Dasha, be like, oh, we've known each other for years and all that. It'd be more interesting if you got more like different personalities drawn with each other. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I'll give you that to an extent. I feel like the fact that somebody like Abaddon wasn't in this tournament, like I said earlier, was a bit of a shame because she's been barely used. I mean, I know she was on Dynamite not that long ago, but again, as I says, like the kind of way that like she could have been used in this tournament, like they could have been winning matches, but like her partner being scared of her and all that, and I don't know. It's just kind of strange in a way that like some of the people that they did pick, but I think at the same time, like Ivelisse and Diamante were a good team together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, even looking at their match graphic with the two of them with their kind of bandanas over their face, they do look pretty badass. And I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there isn't a place for a team that work well together to be drawn with each other. Like, I'm not saying that there isn't a place for that. I just felt as if like it happened all the time.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't notice that because I've been watching them kind of weekly, whereas you kind of binge watched them earlier on today.
Yeah.
So you would have definitely have noticed that a lot more frequently than I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose you're right there.
So Ivelisse and what's her gub? Got to the
Diamante.
Diamante. Yeah,
what's her chin?
Aye.
Yeah.
Got to the semi-finals.
They sure did.
Congratulations, Ivelisse and the Great Khali.
Jesus. Chill the fuck out there, Robert.
I know, Jesus Christ.
It was there. I couldn't take my eyes off
it. So, on to the semi-finals then. What was the first match in the semis, Chris?
The first match in the semi-finals was the Nightmare Sisters being accompanied to the ring by Dustin Rose and QT Marshall, even though some people pronounce it Marshall, which kind of drives me a bit nuts. And they were, yeah, I know. And they were accompanied to the ring by little Bri.
Little Brandy.
No, but there was like she's called it something else now. It's like Little Bri or something stupid like that. Bran, that's it. Thank you. And their opponents were Big and Little Swole. And
I love the fact that Little Bran done a tope suicida.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
It's the little things, isn't it?
It always is the little things when it comes to wrestling.
I know. Oh man, like so many of the littlest things that like there's some people that just don't catch like that kind of stuff, and then like it's just the way that like I know it's stupid little things that Chris doesn't. When we used to do this podcast, and he's like, I never noticed that, but then sometimes he'll bring up a little something that I didn't know. So it's always that kind of thing. It's like it changes from person to person. It just depends on what you look for, I suppose.
It rewards you as well for being a fan of the product rather than belittle you.
Exactly. I don't know if we actually mentioned, but we'll mention it now before we go on. Is after Brandy and Ali's first match, Brandy was interviewed after the match, and this is kind of the start of this weird heel turn that she's now done, where she's like, I just realized after I had this match that I am like one of the greatest women's wrestlers that's ever stepped into the ring. And that, did you see how I dominated that match and how I won that for us? And Ali was like, I helped too. And she's like, oh yeah. But I am the only woman in AEW to have their own action figure. How cool is that? And Ali was like, and then Brandy kind of turned to her. I was like, oh no, don't worry. I'll make sure that you get your own action figure too. You know, I've got stroke in this company. I don't know if you knew.
And this is going to lead us into the conversation I wanted to have about Brandy.
Okay.
Since you've started it now, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I really cannot stomach her anymore. Like, she seems desperate to be a heel and just isn't very good at being a heel. She tried to do it when she first came in, with that whole Nightmare Collective thing that went complete tits up. And she's now trying to do it again with our shite on this. But she's basically doing what fucking Britt Baker does.
Except really badly.
Yeah. Like, it's just not good. And I hate that she keeps trying to go with this nightmare thing as well. Like, that's Cody's thing. Just fucking, You've took his second name, don't take his fucking gimmick as well.
I know, I get you. Because the whole thing with this is like, when we were watching this, it was like, I thought the whole point of this was Ali was meant to be the heel of the tag team and you were meant to be the face, and that's why, you know, the opposites attract kind of thing. But now you've just kind of stomped all over Ali and what her gimmick was meant to be. And now you're the heel and she's the face, because you're literally like sitting there talking about how you're the greatest wrestler or one of the greatest wrestlers. And Ali's like, I helped too.
I'm probably going to get some fucking flack for this, but I'm just going to come out and say it. See, if she wasn't married to Cody Rhodes, she would be nowhere near wrestling anymore.
Nope, she wouldn't. No, she wouldn't.
She might still be there, but she'd still be a ring announcer in NXT.
Yeah, probably. Well, she was. She was a ring announcer in the main roster for a bit.
Yeah, that's true. She would still be a ring announcer, put it that way. But
yeah,
she just infuriates me because like nothing she does is original. Do you know what I mean?
You could say that and be like, she may not even be a fucking ring announcer for WWE anymore. She may be a ring announcer for like Impact, maybe.
Aye.
That's not taking away anything from fucking Impact, as you know, I fucking love Impact. But it's just kind of that thing where like WWE love to get rid of young fucking ring announcers. Like, I mean, they let go of fucking Justin Roberts, arguably the best ring announcer since Howard Finkel. Except for David Penzer, like, who does Impact now. Just
for me, man, like, she just infuriates me now. Like I say, I know I keep repeating that, but it's like genuinely how I feel. I'm so not sold on Brandy in any way, shape, or form. And
hey, you're not the only one, man.
Yeah, I know that, and her insistence on trying to be a heel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure she's a lovely person in real life, and I don't mean anything against her, but I just cannot fucking stomach her on my TV screen anymore. Like, I'm done. Like,
yeah, no, I know. Like, the fact that when the Nightmare Collective broke up, and everybody was like, oh yeah, right, cool, that's her, that she's done, she's off TV, and now she's back, and it's just like, oh no. And then, like, the fact that, like, recently she's fucking spat her dummy out on Twitter and deleted her Twitter because she couldn't take all the fucking negative comments that people were saying about her. And it's just like, no, it is exactly to that point of, if she wasn't married to Cody, she wouldn't be anything, because, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, fucking absolutely gorgeous woman. She has, I'm sure she probably is a very, very nice person as well. And you know what? Even the thing is, like, I wouldn't say she's absolutely horrendous in the ring. She's probably a decent hand. She could probably be a good sort of, you know, enhancement talent to like a lower mid-carder as a women's wrestler. But the fact that she is married to Cody, which means, oh, she is going to be the focus of the women's division. Maybe not have the belt, but she's had more airtime on Dynamite recently than fucking Hikaru Shida has, and she's your fucking champion.
This has turned into what I feared it was going to be, and not what it should have been. This should have been a platform to elevate EW's women's division, which is kind of already on a shaky nail with fans. This is now turned into another platform for Brandy to try and put herself over, and it's not working.
Yeah, I agree.
The only way that this will end up being good is if the Nightmare Sisters lose in the final. Spoilers, they beat Big and Little Swole. And so, you know what, just as I brought that up, let's just talk about the end of the match quickly, then we can get back to this conversation, because I feel like we're not done yet.
No.
So, Big and Little Swole were kind of in control, and Britt Baker and Reba show up in their little golf cart, which just means all of a sudden Big Swole just turns around and just turns her back to the ring and just stares at Britt Baker. And then all of a sudden Ali just comes in and hits the crossroads, no less. No, actually, very good pudding, she doesn't. I thought it was meant to be a crossroads at the time, but it was kind of a crossroads setup, and then she kind of does like the swinging like elbow. Ali wins, and then Big Swole just kind of turns around and was like, "Oh fuck!" As Brandy kind of holds her leg, and it's like, I don't know. I think this would have been a bit better. See if Big Swole like literally ran away from the ring, like to kind of chase Britt Baker. That would have been so much better. But it was just that kind of thing where like Big Swole was just standing there, and it's just like, that's just one of those few things I hate about wrestling. Like, see the distraction where they just stand there and stare, and it's just like, right, fucking do something about it. See if you're angry at this person, would you not want to be going at their throat like the first second that you see sight of somebody? But
it's wrestling logic, Griz.
I know it is.
That question about many things.
Yes, and normally every time that I do that, I do question it, because the thing is, like, as soon as the match was over, Big Swole got out of the ring and fucking chased after her anyway. So like, could you not have had like Big Swole like run out of the ring and chase Britt Baker, and then have Ali like capitalize on the fact that like Little Swole's tag team partner fucking bounced?
It could just be story development for further down the line where Little Swole helps Britt Baker beat Big Swole. You left me. You didn't help me. Mm-hmm. You were too busy about Britt.
I know. It's just odd. I don't know why you didn't just have her chase Britt, to be honest. Because I mean, the same story was pretty much told there.
Yeah.
So the second semi-final match was Take On Tane, the star of the show, against, of course, that is Anna Jay. And their opponents were obviously Evilise and Diamante.
I was just thinking there, say, because she's Dark Order affiliated, should she not be calling herself the Death Star?
Ooh. Join the Death Star.
Instead of the star of the show. Doesn't sound very dark.
I know. Well, that was the whole kind of reason that I brought that up to begin with, is the fact that she still comes out to her theme song and all that hoopla, but like the fact that she comes out with a mask, even if it is kind of just a kind of, you know, masquerade style mask, like just over her eyes, it's like that just kind of annoys me. Like, why wouldn't you come out and at least do the Dark Order taunt, which I am doing on a audio podcast, so that's great. And then and then at least just be like, okay, right, she's Dark Order, and then she can act however she wants to in the match. But I just feel like with Dark Order coming out with her and all that, like I feel like the visual of them all going nah with their claw hand would have made like a million times better, like of a look. It kind of made her seem that more devious, because like, other than the fact that she's like, oh yeah, I hang about with the Dark Order, she's not a heel, like in any kind of like the way that she wrestles or whatever.
Is that because she doesn't pay for it?
I mean, it is only $50 a year, so I don't see why not. She clearly is a fan of wrestling, being a wrestler, so. Very nice. Well done.
Give myself a round of applause.
Absolutely. I mean, I enjoyed that immensely.
Thank you.
So, Ivelisse and Diamante, like, kind of hit a double stunner and cutter combination. Then Ivelisse helps Diamante with the kind of assisted slice bread number 2, which got the victory. Sadly, Tay-Conti took the fall, and that is it. We kind of got interviews backstage from both teams that are moving on to the final. And, you know, Brandy Rhodes pretty much just cut almost the exact same promo that she did last week. The first episode. And we're out of here. So the final, which is going to happen on Saturday's edition of AEW Dynamite, will be the Nightmare Sisters taking on Ivelisse and Diamante.
Cool.
So, prediction time. Since we spoke about this, we may as well make a prediction for who will win the Women's Tag Team Tournament Deadly Draw.
I want Ivelisse and Diamante to win, but I just know that the Nightmare Sisters are going to win because it's Brandy.
I think it's going to be a unanimous decision here, and I will speak for Chris in this one when we, as... I speak for everybody in the Turn and Gale podcast when I say that we all want Ivelisse and Diamante to win the 2020 Women's Tag Team Championship Deadly Draw.
Yes,
oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
So, with that all being said, let's move swiftly on to this week's NXT, the sole show of Wednesday night this week. Or Thursday afternoon if you're in the UK.
I thoroughly enjoyed it this week for a change.
Or Thursday morning for me.
Or, you know, yeah, exactly. Thursday morning if you don't have a job, you're homeless, but actually, if you were homeless, you wouldn't be able to watch anyway. People that don't work, that's what I'm trying to say.
Unemployed.
That's the one. I'm really struggling with my words.
Yay.
Sip of water for the dole man.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Ah!
And still.
Yep. And still.
Yeah, because I don't think I lost it after that other epic Simpsons reference I made earlier.
You didn't, you've just retained.
Good. I love how we've essentially made the original 24/7 title.
Oh, I know, totally. And I still stand by one day I will get an actual Simpsons belt made.
But you have to pass it about like this.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be like pass a parcel.
A little bit, yeah, because when we have a physical belt made, everyone's going to try that much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, anyway.
But obviously, this is going to be kind of one of those things that it's only going to be between a certain amount of people. So, some fucking Johnny No-Name person that we don't know can't just come up and be like, oh, don't, I won the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's strict rules around it, which we've discussed before. But anyway,
exactly.
NXT.
Yeah. So let's move into NXT where we open. Oh my God, we're going to open with this. Okay. Here we go. Johnny Gargano takes on Ridge Holland for a spot in the ladder match, which happens on Saturday for the North American Championship. This is a qualifying match from the 4 people that were not pinned in their triple threat matches. The other match happens in your main event with Velveteen Dream and Finn Balor. So before we get into this, like, I was thinking while Johnny Gargano was making his entrance that I think Johnny as a name sounds very facey. And I can't help but feel as if, like, as soon as he turned heel, he should be like, oh no, from now on, I am going to be John Gargano.
Uh-huh. Are you going to tell the rest of that story?
No, I was going to let you kind of do your part of it and then make it seem as if this was, organic and not the fact that we spoke about this before. But since you just fucking spunked all over it, then yeah.
All right, Griz had put the
Fucking
group
Christ.
chat that he should be John Gargano, and I said no, and then he like argued his point about it, and he's like, because Johnny just sounds so goofy, and I was like, surely it should be Jonathan Gargano. That's basically the story. But yes, so from now on, we will only reference him as Jonathan Gargano.
I reject that statement. I will be referring to him as Jigglesworth Garganus the Sixth.
The sixth, really?
Aye, the sixth. I'm making it seem like a dynasty.
I'm pretty sure like it was like the third or the fourth at the time, but like he's ranked up to becoming the sixth.
There's been a lot of Garganuses.
Evidently.
It's a long, illustrious line.
I have a theory, right?
What, motherfucker, I didn't get mute on that point.
No, you really didn't mute at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so edit that out because at least you weren't saying anything.
I'm not fucking going through all the effort to edit that out.
Fuck you.
That stays
See,
in.
this is you giving me shit for not muting my goddamn microphone, and then me going
turning heel underground.
Great, right, Chris. That means we need to have a fucking fist fight now.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Only end when I go whoa 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 whoa.
I know, because I mean, it's underground. It doesn't mean that you. It doesn't mean you have to kill the person. Although I'm pretty sure that's what Fight Club was almost about.
Yeah, true.
In Fight Club.
Anyway, I've got a theory about where Jonathan Gargano is going to be going after this.
Oh, really? Is it? Was it to the hospital?
Well, yeah, that's a possibility. But I'm talking about his character. But let's get to the end of the match first, and then I'll tell you.
Anyway, this match was a match, and it would probably literally be the only thing that we talk about this match being going. It was all right, Ridge Holland did all right considering that was his second match in NXT, except for the fact that also this was during the fucking commercial, and this was clearly pre-taped, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Like the fact that they had this. I mean, obviously it was a very unintentional spot, but the fact that they had this happen in commercial was maybe bad on their part.
Yeah. Possibly. I think to be honest with you, I think it was just supposed to be a spot that would have both guys down for when it came back from commercial break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It just, it just went a bit tits up, essentially.
Yeah. So what we're referring to is the fact that Johnny Gargano nearly died.
Yep. So Johnny Gargano came off the ropes, and Ridge Holland went for what I assume was like a kind of high-pointed, like kind of scoop slam or something along those lines.
I don't even really know how to describe it, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was meant to like, I feel like it was kind of meant to lift him up and then slam him on his back, but instead slammed him on his fucking forehead.
Yeah.
To me, it kind of looked like it was supposed to be like a snap power slam like Randy Orton does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or Goldust.
He never got all the way around and basically gave him a pile driver instead.
Yeah, it looked really nasty. Like, I'd said to Griz, like, previously, I would be shocked if Johnny Gargano hasn't at least broke his collarbone with that at an absolute minimum.
Yeah. Well, there's
Obviously,
a video YouTube that just went up maybe about an hour ago. I've not watched it yet, but it is questioning. It's from WWE, and it's questioning whether Gargano's actually going to be in the ladder match.
Well, there is no. That's the first thing I said.
That without an injury, there is, in my opinion, there is no way he's came out of that uninjured. Like, that was nasty.
Even if it's just a concussion, you know, which is probably going to be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
He is not making this ladder match
for at least a month.
Yeah, I like if Johnny Gargano wrestles tomorrow night, I will throw shame, good sir, on this company.
There might just be nothing at all. There might not be actually.
If he's healthy to wrestle, then that's fine. It's not a big deal. But I just can't see him being healthy after that, because that was nasty.
But the thing, like, I mean, again, this could be kind of hearsay, but I did hear from a source that apparently after that happened, the match stopped for about 15 minutes. So that Johnny Gargano can get his bearings. They checked to see if he was all right, if he could still go. And then I guess it obviously kicked back in from Johnny Gargano in the corner into the super kick.
Yeah. So
I guess, I mean, after hearing that, which has obviously been after the fact of watching this match, I guess he was evidently all right.
Yeah, and obviously he's got a part to play later on in the show as well. But
yeah.
But, like, if this was taped, which I think it probably was, given the fact that you've said the match was stopped for, like, 15 minutes, that segment that's on the main event could have been taped before the match. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but with that, though, I would feel like WWE would kind of do the thing that they normally do, where, like, see, when you tape SmackDown and all that, you would kind of tape just in order of what happens, so it's easier to edit.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
From Johnny Gargano's personal Twitter page. It's a good thing that my neck is okay for Saturday because I have a great relationship with ladders. Let's get wild. He's got the A-OK.
Sweet, there you go then. I'm surprised he's got the A-OK because that looked fucking nasty.
Man. And we all thought Brock Lesnar had a strong neck for the biz.
Indeed. So anyway, Gargano picked up the win.
He certainly did, off the distraction of Candice LeRae. As Ridge Holland was getting back into the ring, Candice LeRae kind of distracted him. Johnny Gargano kicked the rope right into his crotch and then hit his over the top rope DDT. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano advances.
Right. Can I go on my high horse here for a wee minute?
Yes, you can.
You can indeed climb right up in that high horse.
You get on that horse.
During
the thing is, though, Robert, see if you are going to get on that horse. Going to let me know if it's got any chance in the derby next week.
No. This is just a one-day only thing.
Ah, okay.
I was watching this morning, and during the commercial breaks where you were talking about, see how the amount of vaping propaganda, oh my God, it was really pissing me off.
Oh,
they were equating it.
Like the adverts.
They were equating it to smoking fucking crack.
Yeah.
I was actually moaning the face half Ben, and then Ben's like, yeah, because it will be the American tobacco companies trying to get you to smoke again.
Yep, big tobacco.
And I was like, it wasn't long ago that the same company were doing adverts saying, oh, don't smoke.
Aye, it's
just it really pissed me off today.
American adverts are fucking annoying for that, man.
And now I will dismount said horse.
Okay.
I didn't realize that we were sitting on the same horse there.
Oh, you bastard! Oh, bad dismount.
Oh, Jesus.
Sure, that's not the first time we've said that.
Careful those ankles.
But,
usually I feel the landing.
But right.
But yeah, I completely agree with that. Just the way they're like, oh, I started vaping, and all of a sudden I have anxiety all the time, and I'm scared of my own fucking shadow, and I feel like everyone's coming to kill me, and it's like, what?
I started vaping and now I steal money out my mum's purse.
Yeah, because because vaping is totally the same amount of money like per week that smoking is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's me done. That's
Baffling.
Robert's rant done this week.
Yeah. So we'll move on to a match from the women's division.
Can I just bring up my Johnny Gargano thing that I was trying to?
No.
All right, fine.
I'd allow it.
I think Johnny Gargano is not going to be successful in the ladder match, right? I can see Candice LeRae being the one that beats Io Shirai for the women's title, and Johnny basically having to play second fiddle to Candice for a while and like totally flip the roles, which is going to drive Johnny insane, basically. He's not the centerpiece of the couple. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Then he'll be forced to change his name to Johnny LeRae.
I don't think that's how it
Jonathan
works, but I get what you mean.
LeRae.
The second.
Yes.
No, because I don't think there's been a Jonathan LeRae before.
Aye, because there was Jonathan or whatever it was you called him earlier.
Garganus.
5 of them, no less.
Garganus. It's a very illustrious family, I'll tell you.
Yeah, God, don't you know anything about wrestling?
No, clearly not.
Evidently.
But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Was I would quite like to see Gargano go that way.
They're a lot like the Hart family. There's like 18 million of them.
And then there's another 18 million pretending to be one of them.
No, that would be the Samoan dynasty.
And the Harts too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't Teddy Hart not technically a Hart?
No, he is. He's just like the black sheep. I was referring to a wee random boy that jumped into the ring during the Canadian Stampede show at the end when all the Hearts were in. Bret Hart was one of this wee boy. He's like, who are you? He's like, oh, I just thought it'd be fun. He's like, cool, enjoy yourself, pal.
No, that would have been better if the kid was like, oh, I'm your brother from like
another mother.
Another mother.
I don't think Stu would go anywhere else but Martha.
Fair play.
Mm.
He's not got the fucking energy.
Clearly, he had a lot of energy at one point. Though.
He probably just lay there like Jabba the Hutt.
Oh man, I just get an image of Martha as Princess Leia. Oh. We'll be back after this break.
Helen, not Martha's Owen's wife. Helen,
yeah,
whose wife. I apologise.
just come back from the break and be like, turning heel.
No, I'm not actually
turning
taking
heel
a break.
would like to correct herself. Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So we're still live. Oh, fuck.
We're still live, yes.
Yeah, we're live, pal.
Sorry, can I take that again?
What?
It was reference to what Robert said. Jesus Christ, get a clue.
Right, let's go on to the next match. We're confusing each other now.
I tried to for like 5 minutes, but we kept talking about fucking Martha's and fucking Princess Leia gear and fucking what's his face? Old man Hart getting fucking bobied.
My name is Stu.
How do you do?
I like to buy.
You just know that was his pickup line, don't you?
There's shit in this fucking cat tray. Zip! How do you like your eggs?
I like mine with a smile.
Do you like them covered in cat shit?
Very, very nice, Christopher.
What? Just like
The
you know,
song?
I like my eggs with a smile. Yeah.
The song.
The
I heard that
great.
song.
I heard that song since they stopped doing the advert.
My answer to that question is usually fertilised.
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, to make a egg smile, you need to have a bacon smile. So it's egg eyes and a bacon smile.
but the smile's coming from the person serving you the eggs, not the eggs themselves. Jesus Grizz.
Jesus Grizz, yes, that's how you should refer to me from now on.
Right, next match, let's go.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So Dakota Kai took on the formerly Jessica Alban, which is the only reason I bring that up is because it breaks my goddamn heart that she doesn't work that gimmick anymore because I loved her so goddamn much.
Yeah, it was a certain a certain type that folk would really appreciate on specific websites.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to
You
lie.
mentioned that earlier.
I'm not going to lie. I don't understand what that reference is.
He kind of implied earlier, but he didn't specify, which kind of annoys me.
I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with Cornhub.
No,
Okay.
that's okay. Give me another hint. What specifically kind of gimmick does it sound like? What
Sound like?
actress? Yeah, what actress does it specifically sound like?
I wouldn't say an actress, it's more just of a type. It's like that geeky sort of virgin type.
Oh, okay. So
This
we move
conversation
in.
took an awkward turn.
I know. A bit,
So we
like
had
a bit like the first ECW pay-per-view, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So Dakota Kai wrestled the formerly known as Jessica Alban, and needless to say, Jessie actually got quite a good bit of offense against Dakota Kai before, succumbing to the number one contender. Huh, what a shock! What a shock and horror. So then Dakota Kai started running her mouth, which caused Io Shirai to come out. Io started to chase Dakota as Dakota kind of ran to the backstage area. Raquel Gonzalez comes out of the darkness. I didn't even realize she was kind of gone, but she's been gone for a little while.
I said that a couple of weeks ago that she's not been about, and then we suspected she might have had COVID.
Maybe she did, and this was her 2 weeks of isolation, and now she's back.
Longer than 2 weeks she was away for.
Maybe it was just for
Depends how many episodes they take, though.
safeties.
I to be fair, you're right.
Yeah. So Raquel plops Io back in the ring, and Dakota kind of gets in her face, and then Io gives her a nice little pop in the face, and then while Dakota is kind of knocked down, Raquel comes in with a big old, I don't even know what that's called, just generic flailing slam. And Io is out, and Dakota stands tall over Io Shirai as we go into their title match at the PPV.
The Flim Flam Slam?
The Flim Flam Slam. I fucking love it. The Flim Flam Slam.
It'll even sound better when Morrow says it one day. Oh my god, he hit her with the Flim Flam Slam!
Debatable.
Some breaking news.
Breaking news?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Here comes a new news.
There has been a cluster of COVID-19 cases from Sturgis, South Dakota, at a motorcycle rally.
Oh no.
You know where this is going, don't you?
I know where this is going.
That would be the event that Fozzy played.
Uh-oh.
So yes, Jericho has already responded to it. There was 450,000 people at the event, and the cluster is 7 cases. And Jericho has literally just tweeted 7 cases out of 450,000 people, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Reported cases, it can still go on.
Yeah. So yeah, that is breaking news right now that there has been a cluster on the back of that event.
Well, it was already facing a bit of backlash for doing the gig and then doing the match going to AEW.
Oh, because it was fine doing the match?
No, but the concert was before the tape, because they were live that week.
I'm sure that the bands that were on there will be fine. There'll probably lots of social distancing and that going on backstage, and like things would have to follow to allow the thing to go ahead. It's the people in attendance is where the problem is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Jericho's fine, like in terms of not being positive. Do you know what I mean? Like, that they had separate dressing rooms. They looked pretty social distant on stage from the pictures and stuff like that I've seen. They'd probably been social distant backstage as well. So I don't think the issue is with Jericho himself. I think the issue is more with the fact that he did this show whilst all this is going on. So people turned up to gather to see him. Do you know what I mean?
I still think it was quite silly of him.
These people can make their own goddamn decisions.
Well, see, that's it, man. Like, we had this conversation on our recent episode. I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before. If people want to take the risk and go to shows, and if bands want to perform shows, then that's up to them. Like, the world has to start turning again eventually, especially an industry like live entertainment, which is fucking on its knees right now.
No, I get that, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to go to an event like that, where there is going to be quite a substantial amount of people, and yes, social distancing is a thing, but as an extra precaution, you should maybe still isolate yourself for like 2 weeks. Like, say, you're coming back from France or Spain now, you're having to isolate for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I just thought it was quite reckless of Jericho.
But I can go to a pub just now, and as long as all the rules are followed, I don't need to self-isolate afterwards. Like, it depends on what the setup was backstage. Like, there's nothing you can do to control a crowd of rowdy people to social distance, right? That's not going to happen at a gig. But I think if you're part of the show, if you're working on the show, if you're a performer, you have to stick to the rules that are there. Otherwise, you face a fuckload of problems.
Yeah.
In terms of like health and safety breaches and safe working environments and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a sidebar. Let's go back to NXT.
Well, as I'll say, and I'll continue to say, not Jericho's fault. You know, build it and they will come, essentially, is the thing that I have here. If you're going to perform, it is up to your decision to come. Obviously, Jericho and his band and any other band, as you say, that performed, they're going to be tested. They're going to be fucking fine. And they're going to be socially distant enough that they're going to be away from any fans. Whatever fans do in their fucking own time or at the venue or whatever is completely their own thing. And if you end up getting it, that's your prerogative for coming in the first place. You didn't have to go.
That's my stance on it as well.
I think blaming Jericho is.
I'm not blaming him for the cases.
I'm not saying you are either. I just mean like everybody that was like giving Jericho shit a couple of weeks ago for the events that he put on. It's like, right, okay, well, like he wants to put on events. You're allowed to put on events again. That is the whole point. Like he wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't allowed. See if he'd done it like say fucking 2-3 months ago when this kind of shit wasn't allowed, then like absolutely like Jericho, what the fuck are you doing?
See the thing is as well, like this is nothing to do with Jericho. He didn't put this event on.
I know
this was a not a convention, a gathering that he was.
It's an annual thing. This is where WCW used to host their Road and Hog Wild shows.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like he's not running that. That gig is not him or his people that are running it. That's a gig he is booked to perform at. By being booked to perform, he has a legally binding contract. If that's going ahead, then they're legally obligated to fulfill their side of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like any job. Like if your employer, if my office was to open back up on Monday and I need to be in on Tuesday, I need to be in on Tuesday. That's it. I don't have any fucking get out of that. Do you know what I mean? If my place of work is open, I have to turn up to it.
What the fuck were those 45,000 people thinking?
400.
I want to see fucking Fozzy.
400. I beg your pardon. 450,000.
Yeah.
They're probably thinking, I want to see Fozzy.
They have a. To be fair, Smash Mouth for the headliners. I'd probably rather see Smash Mouth over Fozzy, but you know.
Go fuck yourself then. Right, hold on. 450,000, and how many cases did you say?
7.
7?
7
right.
People in just almost 500,000 people.
But only 7 cases came out of it?
7 confirmed.
7 cases confirmed.
Right. So, yeah, there's potential of being more. But I don't know, man. Maybe it may be better if I don't say anything. But I think the way that I just kind of implied by my my kind of thing that you kind of see how I'm thinking about this.
You're thinking of it like a drop in the ocean.
The problem is, though, it's for those 7 cases, right? Let's just, for talking sake, say that our number is 1.
Yeah.
Right?
How many people did they interact with during that
So
thing?
although it's only 7, it's like, but then they've interacted with, say, 30 people whilst they're at it.
Yeah.
Then those 30 people have interacted with another 30 people. And that's not even just at the show, that's even just in life. Do you know what I mean?
But I mean,
they tell 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends, and so on.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know, as they kind of say, if those people were following the guidelines, you know, constantly wishy-washy in their hands or blah blah blah, stuff like the virus could, like, you know, pass. They always say moisturizing your hands, and then like sort of stuff like that kind of leaves within 10 minutes or so. So.
But the thing is, though, it's impossible to police that amount of people to do it. Like the people,
I mean,
that go there,
100%, yeah.
The people that go there, 100% are doing so at their own risk. I don't necessarily think the performers are. The performers will be tested. The performers will be under strict rules of what they can and can't do backstage. And again, it's like if they've signed a contract to do that event goes ahead. They have to honour that contract. Otherwise, especially in America, the fucking arse would be sued right off them.
Yeah. Or at the very least get fined. Because I'm sure, like, there's been people that have been pulled out of, like, I mean, for example, one year when we were at Download, like, Europe pulled out of their performance, but like when Europe were about to come on the stage, they set up the set for Europe to perform, and then we waited there for fucking ages. And then they were like, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we regret to announce that Europe have not arrived, and so they will not be performing today." And it's like, well, why the fuck did you set up all their stuff when you knew that they weren't here?
That's what happened to me at Download, but with Kid Rock.
Oh,
Kid Rock basically took a hissy fit backstage and refused to come on and left.
oh, I'll go fuck yourself.
After they'd set up the stage for him.
But the reason they do that is so they're fulfilling their side of the agreement, so therefore any legalities after that then fall on that person that refused to perform.
Like, yeah, so they can still yeah. They still set up the stage and it's like, okay, we're ready. Oh, Europe aren't here. Well, that's now their problem.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, let's not get too into this anymore. Let's batter on with NXT.
Yeah. Sidebar match.
Very much a sidebar.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole mantelpiece.
Yeah, the whole exact side of that bar was taken over by me there. So we get into 6-man tag team action as
Sorry, this isn't a sidebar. It's just a quick thing for people listening. Obviously, as we discussed earlier, Robert is on location. Therefore, we don't have video on whilst doing this because it was causing too much interference. So there's been like a few bits of like quite big silences. It's purely because we don't know if someone else is about to talk. So it's like,
yeah,
just to clear that up in case people are wondering how come they've not said anything for like 4 seconds. It's because we can't see each other to like visually cue each other to talk. So apologies.
Yeah, and especially being the unappointed ringleader of this podcast is very rough for me, especially when I can't see the other folks. But like while we were in prep for the episode, when we had video on, you know, like the audio wasn't sounding good, so hence why we switched to audio to make it sound better. All for yous. It's all your fault. I mean, so we moved into 6-man tag team action as Joaquin Wilde, Raul Mendoza, and the NXT Cruiserweight Champion interim.
Mendoza!
Well, guess I've just lost that championship.
Hey. Yeah.
Yep, and the formerly known as Phantasma take on Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott, or Isaiah Scott Swerve. Because, yeah, Chris, see, now that you brought it up, the more that I hate it as well. When they literally call him Isaiah Swerve Scott, like at every opportunity, like Swerve is his middle name, when it's not, it's his nickname.
Yeah, it really pisses me off.
Yeah, and it happened. I didn't notice it so much until you brought it up, and now it's like the glass shattering moment from How I Met Your Mother, where it's like, oh, I can't unsee it now, or unheat it.
Yeah,
It's Ring Gear pissed me off this week.
Who's Ring Gear? Swears?
Aye.
Why?
I just thought it looked so fucking stupid and basic. He looked like a jobber.
What? Because he's wearing the 3/4 length tights.
Aye, with a barbed wire.
I don't foresee.
Kind of reminded me
I
of
don't
Jericho.
foresee him being anything other than a jobber.
Hey, he's not a jobber.
It was like he got his clothes from My First Wrestling Kit.
What is that, like a subscription box that we could sign up to?
No, it's like, you know, like when you're away and you get like your first doctor's kit and it's got like the plastic stethoscope and stuff.
No, I never wanted to be a doctor. No, okay then. All right. Well, I guess we'll just move on from that. Like, no. Okay.
You need a doctor because we're all
moving
just flat
swiftly
like,
on.
yeah.
I mean, Dr. Griz, it doesn't exactly sound that that trustworthy, does it?
Nah, to be fair.
Griz, paging Dr. Griz.
It's
I
like
like
Dr. Stevie. I feel like it would actually turn out to be more like Dr. Nick Dinsmore from Rinka King. That's a deep cut for anybody that knows that watched Rinka King.
I can imagine walking into a hospital and saying, I broke my arm, I need to see a doctor. And they're going, oh, okay, Mr. Hughes. We've only got 2 doctors available. We've got Dr. Griz or Dr. Shipman. Who would you like to see? Dr. Shipman, please.
Please.
I would rather see Dr. Nick than Dr. Griz.
Hi, everybody.
You've tried the rest. You've tried the best. Now try the rest.
That you don't get that. You fucked it up.
Yeah, I flubbed it. Fuck you. Okay, so 6-man tag action for the 3rd time. So Isaiah Scott ended up getting sort of kicked towards Tyler Breeze at the end of the match, and apparently, like, nobody understood the fact that was meant to be a fucking tag, despite the fact that, like, he clearly collided with his partner. And so Isaiah Scott hit his finisher, went to pin Phantasma for the visual, but then the ref's like, no, you're not legal. And he's like, what? How am I not legal? It's like, I don't know, maybe because you collided with your partner. And then literally...
Ice?
Ice ribbon?
No, ICE,
The Japan...
as in immigration people.
Oh,
You're not legal, you're not legal.
You gotta love it. Or not. I mean, it's completely up to you. So, anyway, like, Tyler Breeze finally comes in, tries to clear house, but the opponents are too plentiful. There's 3-on-1. He manages to get rid of 2, but then the formerly known as Phantasma, Escobar. Wait, what's his name? Yeah. Yep. Santos Escobar himself. Obviously, hits his finisher. Boom. There we go. Tyler Breeze is out. 1, 2, 3, and Phantasma, the faction, are still reigning supreme.
Are you saying the faction because you can't pronounce the name?
Yes.
Legado de Phantasma.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Phantasma.
It was my tablet.
Was it though? Was it
was
though?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fucking better be. Also,
So,
like,
it appears to be reacting to the dogs barking. I apologise, listeners, if you can hear the dogs. There's nothing I can do. They're dogs.
Dogs are barking. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun.
There's been a few sirens going by my open window, and I apologise the window's open, but it's roasting in here. There's
I apologise for any
a
cat
few
meows.
sirens that have gone by, but I live in Glasgow, what you expect?
I know. I apologise for any cat meows because Taco won't leave me the fuck alone now.
We appreciate cat meows.
Cat meows are cool.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't, like, flatten them in front of the camera right now, so... Anyway,
see regarding Phantasma?
Yes, and he's on my lap now.
Has Escobar actually fucking defended the Cruiserweight
Defended
title
the
yet?
belt? I don't believe he has.
Fucking hell, man. I know it's an interim title. Jesus.
I think he had a... Oh, wait. I think he defended it against Drake Maverick, and then that match put Drake in the injured list. I might be wrong there, but for some reason I think that was a defense.
I don't feel like it was. I feel like it was like that kind of thing, like purposely to be like I feel like this is their kind of gimmick, is trying to prolong a title defense as much as possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
when according to WWE, that person doesn't even exist on their roster.
Yeah. That's why they've dropped the interim part of the Cruiserweight title, and it's just, he's just the Cruiserweight champion now.
Because if you look up the roster list on the WWE app, it's still Jordan Devlin, and there's no mention of Escobar anywhere. He's not even on the roster list at all.
Interesting. That is strange. So as we kind of mentioned earlier, this is when they announced that Legado del Fantasma, Breezango, and Oil Lurker and Danny Burch will be in a triple threat match for the number one contendership for the tag titles. This is where the Undisputed Era come out, and then Pat McAfee comes out with his boys, and
do you know something, right? See with this, I was watching it. See Pat McAfee, right? He's the type of person that I just can't imagine has pals.
I would be his friend.
Like, fucking, he's came out with these guys, and I'm like, oh man, it's like, to me, like, this is maybe a wee bit of an obscure reference to people, but if you drink in like local pubs, there's always that one Tadger in there that doesn't have any pals, but
he sees people that are there all the time and tries to glub onto them.
Yeah, I've always just imagined Pat McAfee like that guy, and then seen him come out with those people where I was like, oh man, how much has he fucking paid them? Or what's, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man, but he just comes across as
That's what I imagined as well, was, he's totally paid these guys. Like, some of the arguably tougher people in his old profession. So pretty much the crux of this was he was like, oh yeah, I've made $1 million in like 6 different sports. It's like, what the fuck else has he done? Like, I'm actually, color me kind of interested now.
He said professions.
Yeah, but like, so what else is?
Right, well, he was a football player. He was a kicker in the NFL. He was an analyst on ESPN.
Okay.
He has his own radio show. That's 3.
Okay, yeah, that must be monetized. Yeah. Taco, going to stop fucking jumping on my lap.
I'm pretty sure he had like an endorsement deal with some brand.
Who, Taco or Pat McAfee?
Mr. McAfee.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, and then he's got the antivirus software.
Internet security service.
I got there before you, but
you were on it today, so I got there first. Fuck you.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Here's an interesting Pat McAfee fact. Did you know he made his in-ring professional wrestling debut in 2009?
Hey, what? Tell us more, Chris.
He wrestled a guy called the War Pig at IWA East Coast show in West Virginia.
Did he not just fight Cody a couple of weeks ago?
No, that was War Horse.
Ugh. Been on a farm too long.
But yes, I didn't realise he'd actually wrestled a match before. There you go.
Okay, give me that date again. I am literally going to look up that date and that show, and I'm going to try and see if I can find this fucking show.
March 22nd, 2019. Sorry, 2009.
Okay, so that's... Okay, IWA... What was it? IWA...
East Coast.
EC... March... That doesn't say March. March
2nd.
March the 2nd.
2009.
22nd, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm delaying so you can give me the rest of the thing, so hurry up.
2009.
2009, thank you. I don't have a very good memory.
Well, Chris is doing that. I thought he done really well with his promo. To me, he gets wrestling.
Of course it does. He's a former wrestler.
Aye, but not really. If he's only ever had one match.
Has he had more than one match though?
No, yeah, it looks like he has only had one match.
Must have not been a very good match. IWEC East Coast. So it was Scarcade. Nice. This isn't giving me the card. God damn it.
He actually won that match as well.
Was he under his actual name?
I think so. Doesn't say otherwise.
Okay, this is going to be, if I can uncover this match, this is going to be my new holy grail.
Let's report back on it.
Okay, so anyway, I have that framed for later as we get into tag team action in the women's division as Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez take on the lovely team of Shotzi Blackheart and Rhea Ripley.
Do you know what? I actually really like Shotzi this week.
Ah,
she's grown on me as well.
Yeah, she's grown on me as well.
And I really like the fact that Shotzi and Rhea look like a team. With Rhea sort of incorporating some green into her ring gear.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice that, but that's a fair point.
It was a nice wee touch.
I think this might be like a thing going forward. Like maybe they may. I mean, because they're quite rocker girls. I mean, Jesus, all you need to do is look at them to identify that. But yeah, like I actually quite like the two of them as a team, and as you say, like, the fact that like Rhea kind of had some sort of like green like sort of in her gear is it was quite a nice little thing. And it also, like, I don't know if you knew, but a couple of weeks ago Shotzi Blackheart actually had her car stolen.
Yeah, I did see that.
Like that?
And the helmet as well.
Yeah, because her gear and her helmet, which meant so much to her, were in the back of the car. And then she put up a video on Instagram saying like, oh my God, my car was obviously nicked a couple of days ago, and the police have reported that they've found it. It was just abandoned somewhere. And she was like, yeah, all my gear was in there, but more importantly, the helmet, like that helmet meant so much to me, and yada, yada. So they pulled up, the police were there, and like, she was in her wrestling gear at the time. And so they're probably looking at her like, what the fuck is this chick's deal? And she was like, yeah, this is my car. And then they finally opened the boot, and she just started celebrating because her fucking her helmet was there. And then they were like, does anything look like it's been stolen to you? And she's like, well, it looks like stuff has been rummaged around a bit, but like it looks like everything's there. Can I have the helmet? Can I take the helmet with me? Like, the helmet meant so much to me. And then, like, they were like, yep, right, all right, here you go. And then she just, like, fucking nearly broke down crying. Like, obviously, clearly that thing meant so much to her. And it's just like, that was, like, super sweet. Like, and then, like, obviously, like, as you seen in the entrance when she was on the ropes and she had that helmet and she kissed it like 5-6 times. It was kind of just one of those few little things, like probably for the few people that followed her on Instagram being like, yeah, my fucking helmet.
Yeah, I did see
that. Yep. So as you said, she was teaming with Rhea Ripley, and like, you know what? See if this is the direction that they're going to go with these two as a tag team. I kind of like it. I mean, I know I was kind of saying to you guys before, like, oh, why don't you put Shotzi Blackheart and Ruby Riott together because they both have green hair? And it's like, I mean, that would look awesome visually, but I mean, if you're not ready to bump up Shotzi Blackheart to the main roster, then Rhea Ripley and Shotzi is the way to go. And I think they've done really well as a tag team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they need to do something with Rhea, at least.
Yeah.
For the time being, because she is not doing well at the moment in terms of.
Oh, I mean,
like, there's no direction for her. So see if they do put them as a tag team, and then maybe do them as to wrestle at some point down the line for the women's tag team titles. Then all good. I'm fine with that. At least it gives Rhea a purpose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was just I'm going to go on this quickly, but we could talk about this for fucking ages, to be honest with you, is the way that Rhea Ripley has became almost nothing after becoming the biggest thing in pro wrestling is really quite bad at this point.
Yeah.
Like, she's been completely forgotten, and it's all because of Charlotte.
I think she needs a move. I think you should put her on the SmackDown roster, because that women's division really needs something.
Yeah, I would say so.
If you give her a move, it's a clean slate. Do you know what I mean?
I think considering the fact that, like, right now, like, most of both rosters are working together. I mean, look at Bayley and Sasha, and the fact that Asuka now has 2 title matches on Sunday.
See, for me, right, I don't think this. I know you're saying that that's happened because of Charlotte. I don't think that's necessarily true.
It's not true, but I'm just being bitchy.
I think that obviously Rhea Ripley had a visa issue just before WrestleMania. Her visa was due and she couldn't renew it because of COVID. So that then potentially meant she was going to have to go back to Australia. And Lord knows how long she would have been stuck there before the visa thing would have been fixed. Luckily, it was only like 3 weeks and then she was back, but she could potentially still be there. So I'm not saying that the plan wasn't always for Charlotte to win. It might have been, but I think the decision for Charlotte to win might have been quite influenced by that. Do you know what I mean? Because rather than do rather than do the Rhea wins and then we don't see her on TV for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, but for however long it was going to take to get it sorted, they could have got away with it. 3 weeks they could have got away with it because they could have said that she picked up an injury at WrestleMania or whatever. But yeah, I think that's more the reason that Charlotte won that match than it being Charlotte winning.
I know. I'm just being a bit of an arse about it, if I'm honest with you. But I know at the same time, obviously, they didn't know in advance. But it's just kind of that thing where it's like, I would much rather Rhea fucking... Like, if they said, like, oh, yeah, Rhea retained, but she did get injured from, like, the fucking figure 8 and is struggling, we'll keep tabs on how the NXT women's title goes as time goes on. And then, like, if it ended up being over a month, maybe she could have vacated it. Because I feel like her vacating it from not being able to be allowed in the country would have been better than her being on the hottest streak of a fucking women's wrestler in years and then losing to the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And I use the air quotes Queen because she is literally the queen of the company.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I
think Stephers might argue with that one.
I mean, that's a little different, but so kind of like what are the biggest spots of this match? And thank you, Robert, because he has found the Pat McAfee match.
Yep, I saw that. Thank you, Robert. That was good Googling.
Yeah.
It's not much of a match. I've watched it. It's basically just claps. It's just like a wee clap.
So basically, the end of this match comes where Rhea Ripley powerbombs Mercedes Martinez over the guardrail and to the solid floor, whereas Shotzi Blackheart kind of does the her death drop on top of Aaliyah, which gets the pinfall. Uno, dos, and tres. So Shotzi and Rhea win this shit.
And WWE are reporting that Mercedes Martinez is now injured with an undisclosed injury.
Which means it's storyline.
I thought it meant it was shit. Pew pew.
Well, if it's undisclosed, they can't tell you about it. Which means they haven't decided what it is yet.
Or
it could be an injury.
I was working you, big Mark.
To be fair, though, it could be an injury that she doesn't want to be disclosed. Like,
my vagina blew up.
Yeah, if it's.
Oh my god! You literally just took the words out of my mouth. I was I bruised my vagina.
My vagina. Okay, so after that we got the Keith Lee and Karrion Kross kind of build up, yada yada. We're going to see it on fucking Sunday, so
I love this promo package.
Oh well, I guess I'll see it on Saturday. So
and the choice of music that they used as well, I thought was quite clever. Using Frantic by Metallica.
Oh, interesting.
Essentially, the chorus goes frantic tick tock, frantic tick tock. So it includes the Karrion Kross catchphrase.
Nicely done.
I was actually quite chuffed with that as well. When I seen it, I was like, when they first started playing it, I was like, oh yeah, Metallica. And then for a second, I was like, wait a minute, this is old Metallica. I say old Metallica, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Saint Anger Metallica.
2004 or something like that came out, wasn't it? And then the
album.
I was like, right, okay. And then it hit the chorus, the tick 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 tock bit, and I was like, that's fucking really good.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Considering I actually completely skipped this because it was like, I'm going to see it on Saturday, so I don't give a fuck.
Oh, no,
I was actually going to say to you guys when I messaged you about Jonathan Gargano's bad bump. I was going to say to you, I'll also watch that video, but I forgot. Well. But yeah, you'll see it tomorrow.
And then I didn't. So, but yeah, exactly. I'm going to see it tomorrow. So you know what? It's like one of those things where it's like, I can't help but feel like don't air like build up videos for matches early when you know that they're going to be like aired on the pay-per-view, because that's the best part. Like that's going to get you more hyped. So like, well, you're wanting to get me hyped to something that's not going to happen right now. I can't help but feel like that's a bit of a cock tease.
And I'll also play about 2 or 3 times during the pre-show, and then again on Takeover.
Yeah, that as well. Anyway, seeing that again, yeah, we're going to see it on the main show. So we'll get into our main event where Finn Balor takes on the Velveteen Dream. The winner moves on to the ladder match.
I was bored during this match.
Right, I've got something to say.
Here we go.
Why the fuck is Finn Balor losing every fucking big match he's in? It's seriously starting to piss me off now.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm definitely biased, but it's really fucking annoying me that it's like fucking Finn gets a big match, Finn loses. It's like he's been fucking booked on the main roster all over again. Like
yeah.
For lack of a better term,
it's not as bad as. I don't think it's as bad as what you're making out. Because looking at this, he's back to NXT. He's not lost at Takeover.
Yeah, but he's not been in any prominent matches on Takeover.
Yeah.
Like every time he gets an opportunity for a prominent match at Takeover, he doesn't win. Then he'll go on and have. Well, I've just discovered whilst I was bringing up the card for Takeover 30. I don't know if this was announced on NXT. If it was, I missed it. But he's wrestling Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, that was made obviously after this match ended. So because Thatcher interfered, that was how the match ended. Was because Thatcher interfered, attacked Balor, and helped Dream win.
Okay, it'll be wrestling Timothy Thatcher, right? Fine. For lack of a better term, right? Finn Balor is like an NXT legend. Do you know what I mean? Like he should be North American title picture, perfect. If you don't want to push him in the main event just now, you want to let other guys have that spot, then fine. But he shouldn't be on fucking, for again, lack of a better term, takeover filler matches, which is what they're becoming.
Yeah, I would probably say that Timothy Thatcher versus Finn Balor is probably going to own the show.
Yeah, and it's a match that's basically
happening.
It's got next to no build. Do you know what I mean? It's the most minuscule bit of build. It's just kind of like, oh, we better get Finn Balor in this card somewhere. What will we do? I could just stick him with Timothy Thatcher. How are we going to do that? I could get him to interfere. Like, there's no thought process behind it.
Do you know what would have been a great idea? Do you know what would have been a great idea if they done the infamous old wrestling spot of the two of them are on the top rope. They're trying to do a superplex, and both of them land. Both of them hook each other's legs. Both shoulders are down, and they're like, "Oh, we need a winner for this." And then William Regal just pops up on the fucking screen and goes, "All right, it's going to be a 6-person ladder match instead of 5." Nah.
That's what I thought they were going to do. See when Thatcher got involved. Well, actually, when everyone got involved, that's what I thought was going to happen. Regal was going to pop up on the screen and say, "Do you know what? This 5-man ladder match is now a 6-man ladder match." I genuinely thought it was going to go that way. And like, fucking Finn's promo work is so good. Like, do you see his promo before this match earlier on in the show?
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, like, why is he going into these takeover shows against pure filler? Like, and I could get it if he was putting them over in terms of they were coming in to beat NXT legend Finn Balor, but they're not. He's fucking winning the matches, so it makes absolutely zero sense to me. I
know. Like, I'll agree with, like, recently, Finn Balor has been, like, he's looked probably the weakest he had. Maybe this might be building to something, though. Maybe this might be building to the return of the fucking demon, because he's like, I'm clearly getting a bit older. I'm clearly not being able to keep up with these young guys as much as I'd be able to used to, so yada yada, blah blah blah. Here comes the demon.
Potentially a return of the demon, but it only means something if the match that the demon returns in means something.
Yeah.
Like, he's not really done anything since his story with Walter sort of got ended by COVID. So I was thinking maybe they've sort of put maybe Balor on hold a wee bit until Walter can come back.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well. But obviously, it's kind of went so far beyond the couple of weeks that he thought. So that NXT thought. Sorry, that it's just clearly not going to happen at this point, or if it does happen, it's going to be well later.
It also doesn't help with the fact that NXT's head writer just quit.
Really?
Correct.
I missed that.
I quit 4 days ago. Well, that's when it was reported that he quit.
Like,
no
for me, I would rather Finn Balor wasn't on the takeover than being put on the takeover card in a match with absolutely no build to it. What's the point? Have him do something else. Do you know what I mean? Have him interfere in the match to set up his next feud.
I mean, you know what I would rather more than anything else is, I mean, it wouldn't really amount to anything, essentially, or in fact, maybe even it might. You could probably see the 5 people that were pinned in their qualifying matches. Why not just have them in a match, like a 5-man fucking scramble match or some shit like that, and maybe the winner of that becomes the number 1 contender to whoever wins the ladder match. Like, something stupid, something easy, and then it's like, if people question it, it's like, well, you know, they were in contention, and they ended up being the one that lost, but meh. Tough titties. Like, so you would have Thatcher, you would have Balor, you would have fucking everybody else that were in their matches. Like, and then that would just be a nice little match for the pay-per-view that doesn't really need any build.
Yeah.
But it would be a good match because it's just a bunch of fucking other people just going at it.
And see, the fact is as well, the match between Thatcher and Balor could have been built.
Yeah.
Like, because of the way that particular match finished, where Thatcher really did fucking have Finn on the brink of tapping, and he was only rescued by
Dexter Lumis
choking out Thatcher. So the story's there for it. Thatcher can be like, oh, I'm the big bad heel. I can beat you. I've already proven I can beat you. And the only reason I didn't beat you is because of a third party. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's scope there. Like, why not just make that a match and then do fucking a triple threat for the last space? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
not even that. You could have done Thatcher's fucking underground thing that he does all the time, where he's like, "Oh yeah, here's let me show you my heel hook or whatever. I've showed you this before, but this was the move that was going to tap out Finn Balor right up until I got choked out by Dexter Lumis. And just emphasize that fact. Like, I almost tapped out Finn Balor, and then just kind of go from there and just be like, oh, and believe me, the next time that I get Finn Balor in this submission, I'm going to make him tap, and just be like pure all high and mighty about that. And then Finn Balor could be like, Thatcher, like, oh yeah, I have bigger fish to fry. I have Velveteen Dream tonight, and if I beat him, I go into the ladder match, which you're not going to because you got tapped out by Dexter Lumis. And then just like something simple like that, like that's that kind of thing that can aggravate Dexter.
At least
or
the seats
Thatcher
at that point.
Yeah, so like, you know, Finn Balor's made fun of Timothy Thatcher, and Thatcher's like, all right, well, you know what? Fuck you then. Like, if you think that you're gonna go through, then it's not gonna be my fucking watch.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that you don't go through.
So, in case you hadn't worked it out by the conversation we've already had, Velveteen Dream won.
Yeah,
but that wasn't even the best bit of them. That wasn't even a good bit of the match. Like, the best bit of the match was when Cameron Grimes came out and entertained
Cameron Grammy Grimes.
Do you know something, right? Grammy Grimes
to the moon, to the moon,
to the moon.
Grammy Grimes is fast becoming one of my favourite wrestlers.
We're all on the Grimes bandwagon.
Yeah, he's fucking great, man.
We're all on the Graham train.
He's like a Vicky Guerrero that can wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, his voice goes straight through me, but I fucking love it.
A bearded Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, that can wrestle.
Fantastic. He's just so good.
I absolutely love him.
The thing is, the things that he says and all that, they're absolute shit. But about that effort and stuff that he puts into it, it just entertains you.
Oh, he's fucking hilarious. I've always loved Trevor.
I genuinely think he's the dark horse in this ladder match.
I think he's
dark horse. It's my pick to win.
Well, there you go. That's 2 picks for Cameron Grammy Grimes then.
Yeah. I don't know if he's my pick. I think Bronson Reed is maybe my pick, but just based on the way that they've been pushing him. But with Grimey, I think Grimey's a fucking great outside bit.
Absolutely bring in the Big Show ladder for this match.
Yeah.
Thick boy's going to need a thick ladder.
Damn right. Okay, so anyway, as we kind of mentioned,
talking about that, should we fire into our infamous pay-per-view quick-fire predictions?
Yeah. Well, okay. Pew 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 pew. Okay, so right, we'll just quickly round out this NXT. So it got to the point where Cameron Grammy Grimes came out. He pulled the belt off and then started like just sitting on the ladder, just like, yeah, look at my North American title. I'm the champion. No. You will never get this. You will never get this. And that caused eventually for Johnny Gargano to come out, knock him off the ladder, which knocked down the referee. And then during the time where the referee was down, that was when Thatcher attacked Finn Balor. And then that caused Velveteen Dream to hit his finisher, finally get the pinfall, and there we go. Velveteen Dream is the champ. No, he's not the champion. God damn it. He is now in the ladder match. Also, Damian Priest showed up because he attacked Johnny Gargano. But we now have the 6 matches that are going to happen at Takeover. Are you folks ready?
Quick fire me, Griz. Quick fire me.
Quick fire. The first match on the pre-show is Breezango versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Legado del Fantasma. The winners will become the number contenders for the Tag Team Championships.
I'm going to go with Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan.
Fuck it, I'm going to go with Legado del Fantasma.
Oh, fuck it, all 3 of us went different then. Interesting.
Straight off the bat, tomorrow's going to be very interesting.
Mainly because you answered first. Then we're going to have Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher.
Finn Balor.
Timothy Thatcher.
That's 2 for Finn, 1 for Tim.
Yep.
Griz, you're such a fucking Tory.
Don't tell me what you do.
Imagine voting for Thatcher.
We will have Io Shirai taking on Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship.
The genius of the sky.
1 for me.
What's the Judas?
Okay, so that's all 3 for Io Shirai.
Yep.
Then we get into the big old matches of the night. Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Jonathan Gargano, and the Velveteen Dream for the ladder match to determine the new NXT North American champion.
Like I've just said, Bronson Reed for me, but I would love Cameron Grimes to win it.
Cameron Grimes!
Damian Priest for me, but I would love Cameron Grimes to win.
Yeah. Should we just make it a collective Grimy Grimes? We've all said we want him to win, so.
oh, okay. Well, in fact, Robert, like,
yeah.
Do you have a second?
For you, I have more than a second.
Oh, so sweet.
Aww.
But do you have a second choice to win this match?
Oh, all right. Okay, I thought you actually meant time. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Priest as a second.
Do you know what you should do? You should just go with John Gargano, just so that everybody's picked that's not Velveteen Dream.
All right then. Okay, I pick Jigglesworth Garganus the 6th.
There we go. So we've all picked somebody in this match. Well, like all 3 of us have picked 4 people in this match, and none of them are Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
If I have a slap in the face if he does win, no.
I know. It would be, wouldn't it? Okay, next up, we have Adam Cole, baby. Versus Pat McAfee Security.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Nailed
it. I've got an absolute fucking horrendous feeling that Pat McAfee's going to win this.
I wouldn't say this is horrendous, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think he should be beating Adam Cole though.
Maybe this is how Adam Cole gets out of NXT.
He's literally punted out of NXT.
Potentially. But are they really? Well, this is going to go against our next match that we're going to predict.
My pick for that match is the Mac Attack, McAfee.
What about you guys?
Mine too, to be honest.
So the 3 of us are for McAfee.
Aye, well, we're not all for McAfee. You begrudgingly picked McAfee.
Yeah. You know what? I think
what it's about.
Really, you are
It's about who you think's going to win, not who you want to win.
I don't know. I think you should stick with your gut, Chris, and just be against us.
Oh no, I'm just going for who I want to win now. By the way,
my gut says it's going to be Pat McAfee, but
I don't
think he should be beating Adam Cole.
Well, I think he should.
Well, I don't. All right.
Wow, this is getting heated.
You're going to blow me a raspberry?
So
you better blow.
Well, you know what? Your mother is a hamster and your father smells of elderberries.
I fart in your general direction.
And my mother is a lovely woman. Much like hamsters.
Okay.
Right, so
that's a 3 for McAfee.
McAfee.
Okay, and the main event is Keith Lee defending the NXT Championship against Cameron Cross. That is a Cameron win for me.
Cameron?
Yep.
Carrion?
That's his other name.
I'm going for Cross as well.
Yeah, Cross.
Carrying
Cross.
And Trey.
Oh my god, that's a triple for Carrying Cross. I'm genuinely shocked.
Well, see, the thing is, though, I think that Keith Lee is not going up to the main roster because that's not a thing anymore, but he's going to Raw or SmackDown at the draft, which is coming up.
He's going laterally to the main roster.
I don't think
he's getting demoted.
This Liz, like, to swing it back to the Adam Cole thing, I don't think they're going to lose Adam Cole and Keith Lee. Do you know what I mean? To either Raw or SmackDown. So I think I don't think Pat McAfee should be beating Adam Cole. But I get what you're saying about that then sets him up to leave NXT. I don't think that's happening yet because I think Keith Lee is 100% going to Raw or SmackDown. And I don't think they'll lose both of them.
It wouldn't even just be both of them. They'd be losing 5 people.
Yeah. Because I don't think Adam Cole's going up on his own.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, never mind, sorry. Talk shite.
Yeah. I was going to say, why don't the Undisputed Era just end up being Retribution at the end of the day? With some extra fucking add-ons.
Some extra sauce steak.
Or maybe O'Reilly, Strong, and Fish kick Cole out of Undisputed Era. Wouldn't be the first time Cole's been kicked out of faction.
Yeah. Too sweet, indeed. Well, you know what? I don't know if you guys noticed, but that is not the only wrestling pay-per-view that we have this weekend.
What?
Yeah, because SummerSlam is on Sunday, which I will be watching live. Don't know about the rest of yous. So anyway, let's run down the matches for SummerSlam. So we have the Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Angel Garza and Andrade for me.
Team Vega for the win.
That's going to be a 3 count for that. We have Apollo Crews versus MVP for the United States Championship with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin barred from ringside.
Apollo Crews.
Crews for me. Oh, and I like. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love MVP, but no, I'm kidding on Crews.
I think if Shelton Benjamin and Lashley weren't banned for ringside, I'd be going MVP. But the fact that they're banned, Apollo.
Yeah. Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville, hair versus hair.
Said it previously, given the events of this week, I don't think the match should be happening, but I'm going to go with Mandy.
Agreed.
I'm trying to think who would actually volunteer to go bald out of the two.
Probably Sonya.
you know what? Fuck it. Sonya's going to win.
All right.
Fair play.
And then when Mandy saves her hair, Otis is going to dump her.
Oh, don't do that to us, man.
Always heel turns like, oh, you're ugly now that you don't have any hair.
I'm Mr. Money in the Bank. I don't go out with baldy bitches.
Well, if rumours are to be believed, he may not be Mr. Money in the Bank after Sunday.
What?
Huh?
Explain.
I've heard, we've seen stuff on the dirty sheets that the finish to Strowman and Fiend
La 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 la
could,
la la
could
la la.
potentially be a cash-in.
But there's always that. That's not really a dirt sheet thing. That's always going to be a threat when you've got a title match.
Well, the couple of stories I read, the theory was that they don't want to put the belt on the Fiend because he's going to have to lose it at some point, and the best way to protect the Fiend from it would be to have Otis cash in and pin Braun.
Or just have the match end in a double DQ and leave it at that.
Well, we'll see.
I know the two of you are talking right now, but like Joey just sent me a text on the Facebook to let me know when you're done. I don't even want to know theories.
Oh,
We're done.
We're done. We're done.
Is it
Next
safe?
on the card?
Is it safe? It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. Yes, we're done.
Okay. Okay, next on the card is Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in a street fight.
I'm going to go with Dominic, or as the rumour has it as well, what his new name is going to be, Prince Mysterio.
That's a bit jobbies.
Well, Rey in Spanish means king.
It sure does.
Yeah, so I get the whole Prince thing. To be fair though, I think they could have got away with just calling him Rey Mysterio Jr. I know Rey Mysterio was Rey Mysterio Jr. at one point, but it would still work. Do you know what I mean?
He's evidently dead at this point.
He's Rey Mysterio Jr. everywhere but WWE.
Yeah.
So he still has the name. Just not
Was
WWE.
Was the Rey Mysterio Jr. on the All Out show that he was at?
Yes, he was also Rey Mysterio Jr. on Lucha Underground, New Japan, and ICW.
There you go. Fucking hell, man. And I thought I was a historian. Braun Strowman takes on. Oh wait, we all said Dominic versus Seth Rollins. We all give our things, yeah.
Yep.
Seth Rollins.
It's Dominic for me.
And it's Dominic for me.
Yep. It's Braun Strowman versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship.
No contest.
I want
The Fiend.
I want the Fiend, but I feel the match will end differently.
Alexa Bliss becomes the Universal Champion.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? I'm not against that.
Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE title.
Oh, somebody's about in fucking tears there, aren't they?
Uh-oh.
Get
Right.
your tissues handy.
Because we're going for Randy.
Drew is through.
However, the one thing that gives me just a little bit of hope was that Raw finished with Randy standing tall.
Sometimes that doesn't mean anything these days.
I know, but I'm clinging on to any little bit of hope I can cling on to just now.
Yep. I mean, agreed. If Randy Orton doesn't win, I will be shocked and surprised. And, of course, your double main event of the evening. Bayley versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Asuka.
Asuka.
I'm not answering that question yet until we get to the next match.
And then the other half of your double main event, Sasha Banks versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Asuka.
I think there's not going to be 2 matches.
It's going to become a triple threat for both.
Yep. And I think Sasha's going to win.
Or a handicap match for both.
And I think Sasha's going to win the 2 belts.
Nah, this is shit.
I think whatever happens, Bayley's not leaving SummerSlam with a title.
Agreed.
Okay,
she'll have a tag title, but that's all she'll be leaving with.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the tag titles.
Yeah, also the fact that like literally the only match is that's been booked for Payback at this point has been the tag title match, but there's not even announced who the opponents are. What are the odds that Asuka wins both these titles and then her and maybe Shayna go for the tag titles at Payback?
Oh, that's a great team. I'd never thought of that before. Oh, Griz, you've just gave me a semi.
Wow. I guess that's the first semi that you've ever had for two women.
So first time for everything.
Or was it just because I said it?
See, my only thing with that is obviously Shayna's got our cronies back now on Raw.
Oh yeah, that's also correct. She's got Roddy's wife and the ugly bitch.
That's harsh.
Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke.
Oh, I mean, to use their real names, Roddy's wife and the annoying screamy bitch.
Yeah, the fact that she's got both of them on Raw now, I don't think that would happen.
Is that official though on Raw, or was that just for Raw Underground?
That's just Raw Underground. Raw Underground isn't associated with Raw.
Even though it's called Raw Underground.
Yeah, it's Raw Underground.
Oh man, see, I literally just pictured. You ever seen the meme from Ancient Aliens? The guy that looks stoned at his tits with the curly hair.
No,
I literally just pictured that meme of him going, "It's called Raw Underground, but it's nothing to do with Raw." Taking that silence as you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, sorry, I put my mic on mute there. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can appreciate it all the same.
I don't know. I'm going to find the meme. I'll send you this picture.
Delicious. So obviously, since Asuka is going to be the double main event, it clearly means she is going to win all the belts. She's going to win the Raw Women's title. She's going to win the SmackDown Women's title. And then at Payback, she is going to win the WWE Women's Tag Team title. She's going to be Asuka 3 belts. The only woman in history to have all 3 belts at the same time. Isn't it going to be great? Of course it's going to be great.
Asuka-san belts.
Yes. Asuka-san.
Right, I've sent that to you. Just replace the caption with what I said.
Oh, I've seen that. I always assumed that was Errol from My Name is Errol.
Oh. All right, okay. I have seen it, but I just didn't know what it was from.
Yeah.
It's from Ancient Aliens, which if you've never watched, watch it, particularly if you're stoned at your titties. It's fucking wonderful.
Don't tell me what to do.
Not telling you, I'm advising.
Okay, that's different. Suggesting.
Yes.
So that is going to be SummerSlam. Oh my zomph. I'm wearing my Asuka t-shirt right now, the new Money in the Bank one, which is completely redundant because she was Money in the Bank for less than 24 hours.
She was indeed.
Well, technically, she was never Money in the Bank winner.
She was at the time, but then in a technicality, it was it was never for the Money in the Bank. It was for the Women's Championship.
I feel you'd have felt the difference in the weight of the case. You'd have been like, see, for something that just has a bit of paper in it, this is pretty heavy.
Yeah. How heavy is this contract? Jesus Christ, this must be about like fucking 45, 50 pages.
This must
Well,
be
if it's a real contract, then it will be.
The what now?
If it's a real contract, it will be then. Like 45 pages, because you need terms and conditions and X, Y, and Z. And
yeah, but Robert, I don't know if you've ever watched
you have to honour, even if it's during a pandemic.
I don't know if you've ever watched a contract signing, but like contracts are normally about like 2 pages at most.
Yeah, Griz, I hate to ruin this for you. Those contracts aren't real.
What?
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Essentially, contracts are Encyclopedia Britannicas.
See if we had the video on for this, I genuinely think I'd have pinpointed the moment Griz's heart ripped in half there.
Right?
Just for that belt.
Oh,
what breaking news? Before we finish up?
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's do it.
McMahon will kick off SmackDown tonight.
Oh, I saw that earlier
live from the Thunderdome.
I saw that earlier on. Vince McMahon being on TV doesn't really. Oh, actually, do you know what? We'll quickly cover that. Something else I want to talk about before we wrap it up. Vince McMahon being on TV doesn't particularly excite me anymore in terms of I'm going to tune in to watch it live or I'm going to rush to see it the next day, just by opinion. But how cool was that video today of him taking that bump off the fucking...
Yeah. Showing Big Gronky how to do it.
Yeah.
And I like they also showed you the clip of him doing the zip line from WrestleMania 12.
Aye.
Yeah, that was also awesome. And it was the same. I'll say the same thing that I said to my other half when I watched that video at the time. It's like, God, you know what? Like, see, every now and again, it just makes me realize that Vince McMahon is arguably one of the greatest and one of the worst people to ever live.
Yeah, he's on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Like, I love, but I hate that fucking guy.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. Like, but it's like the fact that Drew says in that video clip where he's like, Vince will never ask you to do something he won't do himself. And
I would have loved to have seen him jump off the fucking Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
I mean, he fell off a fucking heavy, like a hefty height from that fucking that cage match with Austin, and like, you know, smashed his fucking spine off the edge of that fucking announce table and still managed to continue wrestling the rest of that match. Like, it may not have been off the Hell in a Cell, but Jesus Christ, that dude's fucking committed. Like, give him that at least.
I'll agree.
And to harken back to the beginning of the show, it is Vincent Kennedy McMahon's birthday on Monday. So, very happy returns when it comes. Don't be jumping off fucking platforms at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and probably we might be back on Monday with the SummerSlam review. So, you know what? We could wish him a genuine happy birthday on his birthday.
Yes, we can. We can. If we are back, we probably will be back. Who knows when we're back? We're three chameleons. We do as we please.
We're three caballeros. We're three caballeros. Some say we're birds of a feather.
That's a fucking deep cut.
Shall we?
Do you get that reference?
I get the reference. That is a deep, deep cut, Griz.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is why I love you so much. Chris, do you get the reference?
No.
Okay.
It's basically it's an animated Disney film that hardly anyone's heard of.
Well, Chris, we have such sights to show you tomorrow.
Right, should we wrap this shindig up? So
let's
Robert can go
do
back
this
to
shit.
Chinese caravan. Griz can do what you want to do, and I can go to the pub.
Griz can
my last night, and I'm back tomorrow.
Of course, you're back
for
tomorrow.
Takeover. Let's take you over.
Me and Griz take over Chris's house.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to run in like retribution.
Yeah, it's just mask
We're
on.
going
and beat
to
the shit
shite
out
in
of
your
anybody.
kettle and piss in your curtains.
Aye.
Look, listen, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but don't you dare shite in my kettle. Like, that coffee gets me through my workday. Like,
I'm gonna put a fish in there as well, so it's gonna be like a shitey fish. It's gonna be great.
so basically, what you're saying is I can make a fish tea.
A shitey fish tea.
Which is what you get out of every fucking fish and chip shop in Glasgow. Anyway, I've been Chris motherfucking Hughes.
And the fact that I know that you're allergic to fish, which means it makes it even more devious, I have been the Griz.
I've been Robert.
Ho!
See
You later, losers.
If I could have my wasted days back, would I use them to get back on track? Stop to warm at karma's burning, or look ahead but keep on turning? Do I have the strength to know how I'll go? Can I find it inside to deal with what I shouldn't know? Could I have my wasted days back? Would I use them to get back on track? You live it or lie it, you live it or lie it. My lifestyle determines my death style. My lifestyle determines my death style.